Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawkeye Women's Basketball, presented by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, delivering the funds the university needs to drive academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Visit uiowaenergycollaborative.com. Also brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Iowa Lottery, be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. Hy-Vee, score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. And by 988 Lifeline. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. This is Hawkeye Women's Basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Here's Rob Brooks.
From the banks of the Olentangy River in Columbus, Ohio, welcome to Sunday Big Ten basketball as the 18-1 Iowa Hawkeyes, winners of 15 in a row, get set to face off against a hot Ohio State team coming off a big win at Maryland midweek. It's a sold-out Value City Arena with over 18,000 packed in here. No curtains this season. They called it a sellout last year on the 23rd of January, but they put some curtains around the upper deck. So more in here today than last year. And why not? This is a game that has been highly anticipated once the schedule was announced, knowing that both of these teams would certainly contend for the Big Ten title. Ohio State at 14-3, 5-1 in the conference. And when you look at their losses, it's been pretty impressive because they've only lost to USC, of course, will be in the Big Ten next year, 83-74. That was the opener this year. And then also lost against then number 2 UCLA, also will be in the Big Ten next year in a close game, 77-71. And then lost by 9 at Michigan. Since then, have reeled off 4 in a row, including the aforementioned win at Maryland, 84-76. Yes, of course, the Hawkeyes come in cruising along as well, taking care of Wisconsin on Wednesday night, 96-50, as the Hawkeyes are off to their fourth 18-1 start in program history, and this is the best start in the Lisa Bluda era. But this will be a challenge for the Hawkeyes, no doubt about it, as the Buckeyes certainly remember the last two games a season ago. One played here on a Monday night, which was a nationally televised game, and the Hawkeyes came in and took care of the Buckeyes 83-72. And then, of course, in the championship game in the Big Ten tournament, Iowa all over the Buckeyes 105-72. So the Buckeyes will be ready. We know the Hawkeyes are ready, and it should be a great afternoon of basketball here in Columbus. We'll get the pregame comments from head coach Lisa Bluder after the break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
To Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio, as we get set for Iowa and Ohio State tip at noon Eastern. Rob Brooks along with head coach Lisa Bluder on the pregame show. And Coach, Ohio State coming off a victory at Maryland, and this is a team that has a wealth of experience, a lot of familiar names.
A lot of familiar names. In fact, they have 3 grad students in their starting lineup, along with the freshman of the year in our conference, Cody McMahon, now in her sophomore campaign. So obviously a really good team, ranked in the top 20 in the country, and have only lost one game at home all year.
J.C. Sheldon, a player that can really spark an offense. So what do you like about her game?
Well, J.C. Sheldon is so smart, and she's quick. She can shoot threes. She can penetrate, get to the basket. She's a really really explosive player. You think she's going to set a screen, and boom, she's gone to the basket. Very, very smart player.
Seems like, too, this team has a lot of players who can get to the basket. A lot of drivers.
A lot of drivers on this team. Cody McMahon being one of the best in the Big Ten. Hard to stop. I mean, truly, she's like a freight train coming in there sometimes. Celeste Taylor is a transfer from Duke. Really good defensive player, but also very similar player. And Taylor Theory, also 6-foot guard, rebounds extremely well, but again, kind of that dry first guard.
Another team, too, that averages between 17 points with J.C. Sheldon, but then after that, it's between like 12 and 9, and anybody can get hot. Mishla Shikova had 20 against Maryland, averages 9.
Yeah, they're very balanced, and you're right. Anybody can hurt you on any night. And their center, it's unusual when they're one of the best three-point shooters on the team, but she is the second best three-point shooter on this team. We have to make sure that our centers get out and, don't help on drives too much and let her be open for wide-open threes.
Back with more from Coach Bluter after the break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Soon we'll go from pool back to school. The end of summer is a total bummer. But yesterday I went shopping and got all the essentials. New backpack, new kicks. Oh, and this is huge. Mom finally got rid of our basic internet and switched us to Extreme. The new Wi-Fi is amazing.
Go back to school with best and fast internet from Extreme. Get speeds from 100 meg up to 1 gig and Wi-Fi 360 Pro with advanced whole home coverage. Call 844-4FASTER or shop online at extreme.com.
Coach, you talk about those drivers. What's important to stop them? You got to find them early in transition, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Also, we're going to be playing them for the drive, obviously. They shoot the three ball much better at home, like 10% better at home than they do on the road. And so that's a little bit scary. But to me, it's like I don't want to put them at the free throw line. I don't want to foul them as they drive hard at us. Cody McMahon can pick up offensive charges because she is a little bit out of control at times. We just don't want to pick up those fouls when we're trying to defend the drive.
Always important to take care of the basketball, but it seems like a team against Ohio State that can bring that defensive pressure at you. You really have to concentrate on that area.
Well, it's all in their press, in my opinion. They press the entire game. And last year we made them take it off, and it's always good. I tell my team, it's always good when you make a team go to plan B. And we need to make them go to plan B and take that press off. They're forcing 21 turnovers a game. That's a whole lot, and most of it is off of the press.
So the transition.
Goes into overtime. the choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while your heart of working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
And you just heard the tail end of the singing of the national anthem before the Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes as we get set for 18-1 and 14-3, and for the first time this year, and my first time in 8 years, pleased to bring Catherine Reynolds, former Hawkeye player and coach, into the broadcast booth. And Catherine, great to have you. I know we tried to do this at Purdue, but that tough week of travel and everything, and here we are. And you picked a good one to start the season with, right?
Here we are, Rob, and thanks for having me. Excited to be on the airwaves with you this morning. Yeah, the weather had other plans for Purdue, but excited to watch Purdue.
Yeah, what's important for the Hawkeyes as we get set for heading into this contest? It's going to be a tough road environment, but Iowa's been used to this. You've been on the bench for these types of games, but this is an electric atmosphere today.
It's a funny thing, Rob. I think there was a time where for Iowa teams coming into an atmosphere like this, you might have been a little bit nervous. How are we going to handle a hostile crowd, a pumped-up opposing team? But now, as things have changed over the last few years, I almost think this environment favors Iowa. You see, for other teams, they're not used to it, but the road show that the Iowa Hawkeyes have become in the last year or year and a half, I think they're almost more comfortable playing in an environment like this. Like you said, 18,000 plus people in here today, the light show going on right now, maybe the best national anthem I've heard in a while. That girl might have been 10 years old. She had some pipes. But I think the atmosphere favors the Hawkeyes in a way. They're used to it, and they thrive in this sort of atmosphere.
And certainly when you play Ohio State, you have to be able to handle that full court pressure.
Yeah, you mentioned some keys to this game. I think first and foremost, handling the press is probably the first and largest key to the game. I think the team likes to think about it in terms of valuing the ball rather than not turning it over, framing it in the positive, valuing the basketball, because what Ohio State wants to do is turn you over and have your turnovers lead to their offense, defense to offense for the Buckeyes. So I think staying composed against the pressure is probably the biggest key overall for Iowa. Secondly, I think it's knowing their personnel. Who are they guarding? Who can they defend for the drive, and who's more of a shooter or three-point threat? So knowing your personnel, who you can help off of, who you can deny, and being prepared for some mismatches. The Ohio State starting lineup, it's got a lot of height advantage on the Iowa Hawkeyes, especially when you look at a matchup like Molly Davis at about 5'7" with shoes on and maybe some platforms going against a 6-foot Taylor Theory. So I think being prepared to handle those and knowing that the personnel might not always be in your favor, but adjusting accordingly. And lastly, it's the battle of the glass. It's rebounding. Ohio State has for years been a team under Coach McGuff that wants to get second chance points, and the thing that happens there too is often they draw fouls. So if you allow offensive rebounds, a lot of times it leads to not only the 2 points but also a foul and sending Iowa players to the bench. So I think the battle of the glass, Iowa maintaining what they've been doing this year with a plus 10 rebound margin, keeping that going today is probably the last thing that rounds out the keys to this game.
Always important, right? Especially on the road, getting off to a good start. And the good news for the Hawkeyes, as you heard from Coach Bluter, Hannah Stolke back in the lineup after missing a Wisconsin game. So she'll be joined by Kate Martin, Gabby Marshall, Molly Davis, and of course Caitlin Clark. For Ohio State, Kevin McGuff, as Catherine said, the head coach. He's won almost 69% of his games at Ohio State after having a 2-year stint at Washington. Taylor Thury, a 6-foot junior, averaging 13 a contest. J.C. Sheldon, Ohio State's leading scorer at 17-2. Celeste Taylor, the transfer from Duke, 5'11", graduate student, averaging 9.2. Rebecca Michalashikova, coming off of 20 against Maryland, averages 9. And then Cody McMahon, 12.8 and 5.1 rebounds. Today's opening tip brought to you by Farmers State Bank. Earn $250 when you open an eligible checking account at the Tiffin branch or online. Get rewarded for banking with FSB. Visit myfsbonline.com for complete details. Subject to approval, minimum $50 deposit, requires e-statements and direct deposit, member FDIC. Ohio State wins the tip and controls the basketball as they go left to right in front of us. The white home uniforms, Hawkeyes in the traveling black uniforms. As Cody McMahon goes down the middle of the lane, loses control of the ball, gets it back and pushes it up over the rim and gets the first basket of the ball game. And almost a steal in the backcourt. Hawkeyes control it though, get into the front court. Here's Martin in between the circles. Now Molly Davis on the left wing, hands to Clark, fakes a 3, wanted a step back 3, and now gets the ball back from Davis, drives to the hoop, has it blocked by the 6'4", Michalashikova. Ohio State in transition, pull-up jumper, McMahon, left wing, no. Rebound taken down by Taylor, gets it to Michalashikova in the paint. She loses control of the ball, and finally, a 3-second violation is called. Iowa basketball.
It's kind of exactly what we thought we'd see to start with. Fast-paced transition. Ohio State put on that press. You're seeing it again now. It's a 2-2-1. They're face guarding the guards, trying to make it hard for our inbounder, Kate Martin, to find somebody to beat it over long. And as long as you do that, they have to take that press off.
And the Hawkeyes this time beat it all the way down the court as just 2 passes, and then underneath to Hannah Stolke, and she lays it up and in with the left hand and is fouled from behind.
Really good to see Hannah getting back in the game after missing that Wisconsin contest earlier in the week. She's a player that has made such strides over the course of the season, and more confidence at the free throw line.
Worked hard in the offseason. Rattles this one home, and Hannah has 3 points, and the Hawkeyes go up by a point. Celeste Taylor, the Buckeyes' first foul. Here's J.C. Sheldon in between the circles, hands it off to Michalashikova. Now back to Sheldon, her 3-pointer straight away, no. And nice box out by Kate Martin, and she tips the ball to Clark across the timeline on the right side. Bounce pass to Hannah Stolke, missed the right-handed layup. But a good transition for the Hawkeyes, on top by 1. Here's Ohio State with Taylor. Pull-up jumper from 10. Blocked by Clark, and then she tries to spin away from Celeste Taylor, and Taylor sticks her knee out and commits her second foul, and we're not even 2 minutes into the game.
And that's a really significant second foul. Celeste Taylor, this is her 3rd institution that she's played at. She was at Texas, then Duke, now here at Ohio State. But what she's done at all 3 of those places is played really good defense, and as a long, disruptive defender, having her on the bench is one of the good things Iowa can see, not keep her off of Caitlin Clark.
Hawkeyes with a 1-point lead, have the basketball. Here's Stolke down the right side, pushes it back to Gabby Marshall, who drills a mid-range shot and is hit on the wrist from behind, gets it to go, and will try to complete the 3-point play. That time, Catherine faked the 3-pointer from the right wing and then stepped up for the 15-footer.
Yeah, it's an element of Gabby's game that she's worked on for, I guess, 5 years now, but she knows everyone's playing her for that 3. If she can shot fake, get him in the air, and get to that mid-range jumper and get that shot shot up. It's a building Gabby Marshall likes playing in. Won a state championship or two in this building.
And you said knock down some long-range shots as well.
Yeah, her high school coach was at our shoot-around last night and let me know to give her some publicity for these long-range jumpers she put up in 2019, send them on a state championship run.
And she completes a three-point play, and then Ohio State with J.C. Sheldon turns the ball over, trying to drive down the left side of the lane. 6-2 Hawkeyes. With the basketball against that full court pressure, Martin brings it across the timeline, flips it to Gabby Marshall, who steps up and fires a three-pointer right side, no. And the ball goes out of bounds in the corner. Ohio State basketball. But that's good to see. Gabby saw some open space and decided to let one fly.
I was going to say the same thing, Rob. Seeing her have confidence in her shot, it's all right it didn't go. The fact that she's taking it speaks volumes for a player like Marshall.
Here's Theory. Now to Ricky Harris into the game. She started in the past for the Buckeyes, as Taylor will sit for probably an extended amount of time. And then a jump shot is up and no good by McMahon. We've got a whistle underneath on the rebound. Let's see if this will go against Molly Davis.
And that's a tough matchup for Molly Davis. She's, like I mentioned in the pregame, a 5'7" Molly guarding Taylor Theory, who's about 6 foot. And the strongest part of Theory's game is her rebounding, averaging about 7 a game over the last little stretch. So that's a key. Keep Molly boxing her out and not drawing those fouls.
Hawks on top by 4. Ohio State gets the ball in. Now here's J.C. Sheldon, little step back 13-footer off the back of the iron. No. Rebound putback is good by Cody McMahon.
Cody McMahon, another strong rebounder on this Ohio State roster. Kate Martin doing all she can, but also trying to play smart.
And Davis gets the ball across the timeline, and then a nifty bounce pass to a slashing Hannah Stalkey toward the basket. Lays it up and in. Hannah already with 5, and the Hawkeyes go up by 4.
Ohio State at the center position really doesn't have a good answer for Hannah Stalkey and her speed and transition.
And that has been a key point for the Hawkeyes early as we get an Iowa foul. Gabby Marshall will pick up her first. That's the team's second ball possession for the Buckeyes with 6:43 left to go in the first. Iowa 8, Ohio State 4. Sydney a falter into the game for Molly Davis. Here's Misha Lashikova. 6'4" center, but will shoot that three-pointer. But this time hands it off to Ricky Davis. Not known as a scorer, but buries a three-pointer from the left wing.
Yeah, notable stat for these Buckeyes is their shooting percentage when they're at home versus when they're on the road. Their three-point shooting percentage goes up by 13 percentage points when they're at home, which is significant, defending the three and not allowing them to get going and get hot in their home crowd.
Here's Clark on the left wing. Fadeaway three-pointer, buries it. Almost floated out of bounds on that one.
Yeah, with a 6-foot long arms in her face. It's impressive, and there's really not a defense that has figured out how to cover it quite yet, is there, Rob?
No, we have not seen one yet, but we've seen a lot of defenses as driving toward the basket. Ohio State with McMahon, and she has the ball knocked away from her and out of bounds, so the Hawkeyes will play defense. Ohio State gets it in along the baseline. Here is J.C. Sheldon as Ohio State works it around the arc. Misha Lashikova, three-pointer off the pass from McMahon, knocks it down from the left wing.
Yeah, Mika Lashikova, like Coach Twitter mentioned, leading their team in three-point shooting percentage, even at the center position. It's a tough matchup for people, especially like Hannah Stolke.
Clark tries to answer and does with a deep three from the left wing.
Makes it look easy. Another 30-footer off 1 foot, but nothing but net.
And the Hawkeyes go back up by 4 at 14-10. Inside, McMahon twists and turns, goes to the left hand and is fouled. Boy, when she gets the ball in the middle of the paint, really does a good job getting to the hoop with a quick move.
Yeah, Cody McMahon, the freshman of the year in the Big Ten Conference last season, probably one of the strongest players that Iowa will face in this Big Ten Conference slate. And what she really likes to do is what you sort of just alluded to, is that spin move. She gets you deep in the paint, and then she's got a very quick, explosive spin move to the rim.
Kate Martin picks up the foul. McMahon gets the first free throw to go. Cody McMahon with 5. Sophomore out of Centerville, Ohio. Second one, perfect. Lead cut to 2. Clark in between the circles, gets it back from Feuerbach, going along the baseline, and traveling is going to be called, as they're going to say that Caitlin took a step before putting the ball on the floor with her right hand.
Yeah, quite honestly, I think she might have traveled a little bit before they called it. A little bit of a makeup there, I think, missing the initial travel. But Caitlin gets some happy feet sometimes. It must be tough to be moving that fast. I can understand why that would happen.
Halfway through the first quarter, McMahon wide open underneath, coming off a screen, gets a pass from Michala Shikova and lays it up and in.
That's an element of Cody McMahon's game that I think she's improved on over the last year, is her movement away from the basketball. You know, last year as a freshman, you saw her really only creating when she had the ball in her hands. Now she moves really, really well away from the ball, creates space and cuts stronger than she used to, and gets open for layups.
And Clark with the ball on the left wing is pushed by Taylor Theory. And that'll be the 6-foot junior's first foul, the team's third, as we have our first timeout of the ballgame. 4:46 left to go in the first. We are tied at 14, Iowa and Ohio State. This is Iowa Hawkeye. Halfway through the first quarter, McMahon wide open underneath, coming off a screen, gets a pass from Michala Shikova and lays it up and in.
That's an element of Cody McMahon's game that I think she's improved on over the last year, is her movement away from the basketball. You know, last year as a freshman, you saw her really only creating when she had the ball in her hands. Now she moves really, really well away from the ball, creates space and cuts stronger than she used to, and gets open for layups.
And Clark with the ball on the left wing is pushed by Taylor Theory. And that'll be the 6-foot junior's first foul, the team's third, as we have our first timeout of the ballgame. 4:46 left to go in the first. We are tied at 14, Iowa and Ohio State. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen. 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard, with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources? Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, our partner in a collaborative, ENGIE North America, is now offering part-time, on-campus positions where you can get hands-on, career-inspiring experience in sustainable utility systems management. Check out the jobs and apply now at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Welcome back to Value City Arena on the campus of Ohio State University. We are tied at 14, the Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes. Iowa shooting 5 of 9, Ohio State 5 of 10. Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels. The Homewood Suites and the Home 2 Suites by Hilton each offer guests spacious suites, complimentary breakfast, 24-hour fitness center, pool, hot tub, guest laundry, and convenient locations. Let their warm and friendly staffs take care of you and your family when you visit Hawkeye Country. Iowa basketball, hoop to our left here at Value City Arena. And a whistle away from the ball as Clark had it out near the timeline. And this is going to be an offensive foul against the Hawkeyes.
No, it's funny. You see this happen quite a bit to Sharon Goodman, and quite honestly, she's physically imposing to her opponents often. And so I think what happens is she plays her game, which is a very physical style of play, and it leads to offensive fouls. But sometimes it's nice to have that 1-2 punch. Stolke a little more finesse, and then Goodman come off the bench and provide a little brute force.
And Addie O'Grady also provided some good minutes against the Wisconsin Badgers. Tied at 14, Ohio State with the basketball. Working it around the perimeter. And a three-pointer up and good by Ricky Harris. That's her second three off the bench.
It's her second three, and you saw Iowa with a change of defense there. They had been in a player-to-player defense, came out of the timeout in a 2-3 zone, which they like to do.
And Clark swishes a three-pointer, free throw line extended left. That's been her favorite spot so far.
Yeah, creates so much space when she steps back to her left, and she's really hot from that. Her shot chart on that left wing has to be just unbelievable. But you're saying Iowa stay in that 2-3 zone here.
And getting free inside is Cody McMahon. Takes it up strong and finishes. And that's going to be the second foul on Sharon Goodman. Two quick ones.
Two quick fouls, and talking yesterday with Coach Fitzgerald about the Ohio State scouting report, when she said when they go to the zone, the key will be defending the high post, because what Ohio State likes to do is get the ball to the high post and then have an isolation drive. So that's exactly what just happened there. Give the ball to Cody McMahon in the high post and let her go one-on-one against your center.
And she makes the free throw. McMahon with 11. She averages 12.8 at 14-9 the last time out against Maryland. Here is Clark driving down the middle of the paint and is fouled on her trip to the basket. Ohio State grabs the lead by 3.
Not an uncommon scene in the Ohio State-Iowa matchup. It looks like it's getting a little chippy down there. Maybe some words exchanged between players. It's all in fun and games, but it seems like this matchup tends to bring out a little competitive fire on both sides.
Well, and especially, Catherine, you go back to those two games last year. Hawkeyes won here and then just destroyed Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament, so they haven't forgot about that. This is the same group that pretty much played last year.
Yeah, you hear Coach Bluter talking about how veteran this Ohio State group is, but people are thinking the same thing about Iowa. I mean, you've got Clark a senior, Martin a grad student, Molly a grad student, Gabby a grad student, yep. So the veteran play is definitely shared on both sides.
So Clark knocks down 2 free throws, and then Ohio State, an unforced error, Parks into the game. Is at the free throw line area and then looked to throw it to the left wing. Nobody was there, and the turnover gives Iowa the basketball. Can grab the lead with a basket. 2019 in favor of Ohio State. 3:15 left to go in the first quarter. Here's Kate Martin in between the circles. Stolke at the elbow. Gives it back to Kate, and she drives in. And traveling is going to be called as Kate just lost control of the ball going down the left part of the lane.
I think she was more open than she expected to be. The river kind of parted, and she had a lot of space in front of her and took a couple extra steps.
Madison Green into the game with the ball at the top of the key. Gives it to Sheldon on the right wing, and as she pump faked behind the three-point arc, took an extra step before she put the ball on the floor.
I'm telling you, Rob, everybody's got happy feet today. I'm up here shaking my foot. You got yours going, it looks like, over there, and same with the players. Couple travels in a row.
And they're calling it, not letting that go. Here's Clark now on the right wing. Takes a couple of steps and then lost control of the ball along the baseline, but touched last by Ohio State.
Ohio State's taking that press off, but what they are doing is picking up their pressure in the quarter court.
Hawks down 1. Get the ball into Marshall. Now Davis. Here's Clark. Just left to the top of the key. Stolke comes out to set a screen. Now Kate Martin tried to get a pass inside to Hannah Stolke. A foot off the left block. Threw it too high and out of bounds along the baseline. Ohio State basketball.
Both teams out of their flow a little bit here coming out of that media timeout, but the Iowa sticking with the 2-3 zone, trying to be disruptive, defending that high post, and keeping McMahon out of there.
Here's McMahon now with the ball in between the circles. Gets it into the corner. J.C. Sheldon 3. No good. Skipped off the right side of the rim. Rebound Marshall to Clark. Down court to Molly Davis. Count the layup, and she's fouled. Another great long pass with great vision by Caitlin Clark.
Amazing vision, and really she had two options running the floor with her there. She had Stolke and Molly Davis. Kind of funny that the smaller Davis was the one to receive that, but yeah, Caitlin looking like a quarterback with that long court pass.
J.C. Sheldon
One shot.
Picks up her first foul. Molly Davis at the line to try to complete the three-point play, and does. And the Hawkeyes go up by one, 21-20. 2:10 left to go in the first quarter.
Back to a player-to-player look here, getting out of the zone for Iowa.
Theory drives in, drops it off for Parks, who scores. Or make that charge is going to be called. A nice job by Hannah Stalkey inside. And Parks will get the charge and her first personal foul.
A pretty active whistle, I would say, so far in this game, Rob. It seems like a veteran officiating crew that's trying to control this game early and from the outset.
Clark in between the circles. Deep three off the right side of the rim. Rebound down to Parks of Ohio State. Hawks by 2. Ohio State on the move. Here's Green all the way to the rim. Layup, no. Ball punched up in the air. Theory grabs it, goes up, and is fouled. They'll get Caitlin Clark for her first.
Well, that last three you saw Caitlin take was from the logo. Logo here being the state of Ohio outline. Looks like she was somewhere probably a little northwest of Cincinnati when she took that one.
Well, you should know that well, the geography.
Yeah, being a Cincinnati kid myself. But yeah, and then you see Caitlin drawing the foul, and really she's not used to fouling. Like, that one was more Taylor Theory creating the contact than Caitlin being aggressive on the play. Sort of leaned into her and drew the foul. Smart play by Taylor Theory.
Gets her first point. Will go along with 3 rebounds. Makes the second. So Theory has 2. Had 17 against Maryland last ball game, and we're tied at 22. Here's Kate Martin on the right wing. Now to Clark inside. Stalkey has it swatted away by Parks. Gets it back. Goes up. Too strong off the window. Ohio State with the rebound. Theory on the left wing. Now we'll slow the pace a little bit. Here's Madison Green. She'll back it up on the edge of the logo. Here's a called play from the bench. A couple players come off some screens, and then Harris, to make that Green, will shoot from the right wing from 15. No. Hawks with the rebound, racing down the court. Again, Clark, a half-court pass, finds Hannah Stalkey, who has 7.
Transition offense has been Iowa's best offense. It's potent when it's working, and with the way Hannah Stalkey can run the floor, just keep going back to it.
And a blocking foul on the inside as Theory had an avenue to the basket and went up on the right side, and Stalkey will pick up the foul, and that'll get Addie O'Grady off the bench and into the game for the first time. Had 6 against the Badgers. Free throws for Ohio State. Iowa up 2, 24-22. 43 seconds left to go in the first.
You see Ohio State, what they like to do is a lot of combo actions, combining things back with it's a handoff into a ball screen, into a read on a cut. And so that's what's really difficult to guard with this Ohio State team, is that they have a lot of freedom within their offense to make reads and cut when you don't expect it, and do back-to-back actions that are difficult to guard. And that's what they did on those last 2 possessions, is string things together and try to mix up the Iowa defense.
Theory knocks down both free throws. She has 4, all at the line. And here is Clark, as Iowa will run down the shot clock. 15 on it now, 28 on the game clock. Here's Clark on the right side out by the hash mark, and a hold is called against Madison Green.
You know, and teams get irritated with some of the fouls that Clark gets, but the rule states that it's what they say is a one hot stove touch, meaning you can touch them once and then you can't touch them again when they have the ball in their hands. And so when people have their hands all over Clark or whomever the ball handler might be, you know, if you're going to call the game how it's supposed to be, you can't do what Madison Green was just doing to Clark.
And many games we see where teams will get away with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think officials have to make that decision early in games, and today it looks like this crew has decided we're going to call it a little bit tighter and keep the game managed that way. Other times it's more physical because they don't want to blow the whistle every time down the floor. And
Clark knocks down both free throws, so 13 points for Caitlin Clark in the first quarter, as Feuerbach comes in for CC with 25 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Hawks by 2. Ohio State will hold for 1, it appears. Madison Green out near the timeline. Feuerbach waits for her at the top of the key.
You see Feuerbach sagging off, knowing Madison Green doesn't want to take that long-distance three-pointer.
has it and then gave it to Theory in the paint. Shot too strong off the window, and Sydney Falter goes up and snares the rebound to end quarter number 1. Hawks with a 2-point advantage at 26-24. For a taste of unique flavors you'll love, stop by Molly's Cupcakes in downtown Iowa City for homemade cupcakes, cookies, bars, cakes, and coffee drinks. Molly's Cupcakes is a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Hawk fans, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield knows you're here for every fadeaway, every alley-oop, and every buzzer beater. And Wellmark is here for every moment as well, with trusted health coverage committed to making healthcare better. Learn more at wellmark.com/hoops. We've played 10 minutes from Columbus. It is Iowa 26, Ohio State 24. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corngrowsiowa.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
26-24, the Hawkeyes over the Buckeyes. Iowa 8 out of 15 in the first quarter. 53.3%, 7 of 16 for Ohio State, 43.8. Iowa's made 3 of 5 from deep. And Ohio State 3 of 6. Both teams 7 out of 7 from the free throw line. Hawkeye fans, you can drive your team to a win this season by filling up with unleaded 88 with quick rewards at any Quick Start location. Fuel up with 8 gallons or more of unleaded 88 and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win great prize packs throughout the season. Quick Start, proud partner of Hawkeye women's basketball. Ohio State will have the basketball to start the second quarter. Mishala Shikova back in there. J.C. Sheldon as well.
Seeing Iowa in what looks to me like a triangle and 2. So the junk defense is coming out, as the Coach Bluter's teams like to do. We've got Molly Davis and Gabby Marshall as the defenders. And then we've got Kate Martin, Hannah Stolke, and Caitlin Clark as that triangle, the other 3 in that defense.
As Theory goes to work in the paint right outside the semicircle, up strong and is fouled.
That's what the Ohio State teams want to do. They want to get deep in the rim and draw fouls on you. And they see the frustration that causes. The Iowa team, the Stolke has to go back to the bench. It takes you out of your rhythm. And really it just gives Ohio State a breather, gets them back on defense, and enhances their game.
So now Stolke with 2 and Sharon Goodman with 2. Addie O'Grady back in the game. McMahon's first free throw strong.
Addie O'Grady's a player that brings more experience than people realize. She's a junior now. Her freshman year got valuable minutes behind Monica Sonano, similarly last year, and her length is disruptive to opposing teams.
McMahon missed them both. Both were a little bit strong off the back of the bracket. Iowa gets the rebound, brings it into the front court. Here is Clark, passes off to Davis, left wing, gets to the free throw line. Spins, gets it back to Clark, three-pointer. Shot that one quick from the top of the key, no good.
And
Sheldon the rebound.
With Celeste Taylor back in the game with those 2 fouls and guarding Clark.
As Theory buries a three-pointer deep in the corner on the left wing.
Well, you can bet that the Iowa coaches are telling Caitlin to play downhill, get to the rim. These Ohio State players don't want to foul her. And there you go. You see Caitlin take it straight at the rim. Doesn't get the layup to go, but draws the foul. And that's exactly what I think you'll look to see Clark do here in this second quarter with a couple Ohio State players in foul trouble, is get to the rim, play downhill, don't settle for three-point field goals.
And Taylor Theory picks up her second.
2 shots.
So that'll bring Caitlin Clark back to the free throw line. Caitlin's first is perfect. She has 14.
And a perfect 5 for 5 from the line already with 8:52 to go in the second quarter. Taking more free throws so far in this game than I probably took my whole senior year.
And couldn't get the second one to go. Spun out left side of the iron. Ohio State gets the rebound. We're tied at 27. Then all the way to the rim. Lane was wide open for Taylor Theory. She has 9. Hawkeyes work the ball down court. The catch and shot by Kate Martin off a terrific half-court pass again by Caitlin Clark.
I love it. Iowa transition is where they get easy scores, and it's deflating for the defense. When you think you're excited because you scored, next thing you know, Iowa's got a layup at the rim on the other end.
J.C. Sheldon pulls up at the elbow, no good left side. Hawks with the rebound. Martin brings it into the front court, hands it off to Molly Davis, makes a move to the basket. Right-handed layup is good. Molly has 5.
Wow. How about the Molly Davis we've seen over the last couple weeks of this season, Rob? I mean, it's really impressive. It's always been in there. It's just taken a little while for her to get confident and comfortable in this system, having transferred from Central Michigan. But now you're really seeing what Molly Davis is capable of.
And here she knocks the ball away from Michalashikova into Clark's hands. Back to Marshall. Now Clark eyes a 3 left wing. A little bit strong off the right side. That one maybe too wide open.
Yeah, she's not used to seeing the rim that clearly. She's used to having a hand in her face. So she cleared out on the wing. It was a nice play by Marshall to get Caitlin open, draw the defender to her, and pitched it out to her. It just didn't go.
Hawks by 2. Michalashikova for Ohio State gets the ball to McMahon on the left wing. Now Theory at the free throw line. Spins in the lane. Back outside McMahon. Fires a three-pointer. Left side no good. Ball batted around. Dug up by McMahon. She saves it from going out of bounds into the hands of J.C. Sheldon. Now back inside McMahon, up strong along the baseline. Blocked away by Addie O'Grady. Into the hands of Clark in the front court. Gets into the paint. Stops 10 feet away. Now in the corner to Marshall. Bounce pass to Kate Martin on the right wing. Hawks by 2 with the ball. And now Clark gets free on the baseline. Nobody cut her off. Lays it up and in. Went right by Celeste Taylor.
Yeah, and Taylor doesn't want to get that third foul. So the more Caitlin can get to the rim, or anybody, Molly, Gabby, Kate, any of those guards, they're worried about getting their second, third fouls. And so the rim is going to open up for them as they cut hard.
Hawks go up by 4. 6:33 left to go in the first half. Corner three-pointer good by Celeste Taylor.
Yeah, when you see Iowa go to these different defenses, whether it's the 2-3 zone, whether it's the junk 2 triangle and 2, what's vulnerable is your corners, and that's where Ohio State's gotten some really clean looks from the corners. That was the first one that went down from that corner. But that's where you're vulnerable and exposed in those defenses.
And Clark gets free for another layup. A smooth move right down the right side of the paint. Up and in with the left hand off the window, and Clark with 18. Hawks go up by 3. Here's Taylor, bounce pass inside. Michalashikova missed the right-handed layup, and Martin with the rebound. Hands it to Clark, pushes the ball forward to Davis along the baseline. Now back out to Kate for 3 left wing. Swish for Kate Martin.
Oh, so good to see Kate Martin get hot, especially from the wing. And that all started because Caitlin pushed the ball in transition. Molly got deep in the paint, was able to kick it out to wide open Kate Martin.
And timeout, Ohio State, after the Hawkeyes go up by 6, 38-32. Set up the best zone defense from home heating costs this winter. Tune up your furnace, seal up drafts around your home, and visit MidAmericanEnergy.com to find more ways to keep warm with less energy. Hawkeyes off to a good start in the second quarter. Iowa 38, Ohio State 32, 5:41 left to go, second quarter. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Rob Brooks and Catherine Reynolds back inside Value City Arena, Columbus, Ohio, as the Hawkeyes lead at 38-32, have outscored the Buckeyes 12-8 in the second quarter. A proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular, wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Hawks have had a 6-0 run, Ohio State a 7-0 run. The lead has changed 5 times. We've been tied 7. But the good news, Catherine, Iowa has led for 8:36, Ohio State for 2:43.
Man, it's always a good thing when you can force the other team to call a timeout to try to regroup, and that's exactly what just happened as Iowa went on that 6-0 run.
Ohio State basketball. Madison Green brings it across the timeline, keeps that right-handed dribble going. Molly Davis comes out on her. Not making a move yet as the Hawks lead by 6. Now here's McMahon on the left wing, out near the three-point arc. Hands it off to Mishala Shikova. Pushes it back to McMahon. Now to Mishala Shikova. Fake to 3. Now drives, paint, shot up, good.
Yeah.
Put it on the floor that time.
She did. Addie O'Grady overhelped a little bit on that ball screen, and so Mishala Shikova got loose, and Addie sort of lunged at her, went for the shot fake, and that's why she was able to get to the rim. I thought it was good ball screen defense by O'Grady, just recovered a little bit off on her toes.
Hawks by 4. Here's Sydney Falter down the right side of the lane and goes up against McMahon, but hit the side of the window with it. And Ohio State gathers the rebound with Harris in the front court. Now McMahon, top of the key, and slides down the middle of the paint against a Falter, loses control of the ball, gets it back, goes up, no. And the rebound, J.C. Sheldon. He was in the right place at the right time, lays it up and in.
Yeah, and that's those offensive rebounds. That's what you see. If Ohio State's already got 6 on the game, which is simply too many. They lead to second chance points. Everyone has to box out.
Inside, O'Grady for the Hawkeyes. Back outside, Kate Martin. 3, right wing. Perfect for Kate Martin. She has 8.
How pure is Martin's shot when she's feeling it like that? That's a pretty jumper, and you can tell that she's confident with it right now. Gets her feet under her, gets her feet set, and follows through. It's one of the prettier jumpers on this roster.
41-36 Hawkeyes. Back in that 2-3 zone defense. Mishala Shikova inside out. Tried to find Madison Green, but poked out of bounds by Gabby Marshall, who's good for 3 or 4 of those a contest.
She's got kind of those Inspector Gadget arms that the next thing you know, she's putting them out and they're covering half the court. So Gabby does a really good job. She's got a really good sense of where the basketball is and is able to force a lot of deflections.
Ricky Harris back in the game, has 2 threes. She only shoots it at 26%. Here's Madison Green on the left wing. J.C. Sheldon hooks a pass to Green for 3. No good. Missed it deep in the corner. O'Grady the rebound. Pushes it to Clark across the timeline. Hawkeyes by 5 with the basketball. Clark, lob pass in. O'Grady back outside of Falter. Now into the corner, Kate Martin for three. This one off the right side of the iron. Rebound taken down by Cody McMahon.
A great ball movement by Iowa. They forced a switch on a ball screen, got a full ball reversal. The good look for Kate Martin.
And J.C. Sheldon off a pass from Mishala Shikova. Knocks down a three-pointer from the left wing right in front of the Iowa bench. J.C. Sheldon with 5, leading scorer for the Buckeyes. And Iowa has its lead trimmed to 2 at 41-39 as we approach 3 left to go, second quarter. Clark gets it back out to Martin. Now Kylie Feuerbach, free throw line extended right, moves it toward the baseline, hands it off to Kate Martin. She's doubled. Now to Clark, top of the key area, pushes a pass to Martin in the paint, and a charge is going to be called on Kate Martin about 10 feet away from the basket in the paint.
Yeah, J.C. Sheldon just beat her to the spot, got herself set, and took the charge. But, you know, I think you're seeing both teams get a little frustrated by how tight the game's being called. However, at this point, with, you know, under 3 minutes to go before the half, it's probably time for the teams to adjust a little bit and just expect those whistles are going to be blown today.
41-39 Hawkeyes. 2:45 left to go, second quarter. And the Hawkeyes are going to go small now. That's going to put Kate Martin at the 5.
You got 6-foot Kate Martin playing the center, but she's to the heart of a lion down there. She won't be a challenge for her.
Hawkeyes stay that zone defense. Here's Harris, free throw line extended right. Inside McMahon, backs her way in, loses control of the ball. And a foul is going to be called on Kate Martin. That contact certainly initiated by Cody McMahon.
Absolutely, and then that's one of her strengths. And because she's so strong physically, she can draw contact like that and still finish at the rim. She didn't there, but now she'll go to the free throw line. Although, Rob, it looks like her free throw numbers, at least for today, haven't been the most trusting of things.
McMahon missed her last 2, has 11. But now Kate Martin has 2, Hannah Stalkey has 2, and Sharon Goodman had a really quick 2.
Yeah,
so some foul trouble for the Hawks.
Yeah, some foul trouble on both sides, and sometimes you kind of can't wait to get to that halftime just when you come back out. Playing with 2 fouls in the second half is a lot different than playing with 2 fouls in the first. And, you know, I think that'll be something that they'll talk about in the locker room is being okay with the whistle that's being blown today.
1 out of 2 at the line for McMahon. Iowa by 1 with the basketball. Here's Marsha on the right wing. Now Clark in between the circles and wanted a 3, but then passed it off to Molly Davis. Little runner along the baseline. Somehow got that up and in.
Yeah, Molly Davis is used to being that size and getting different angles. Probably her geometry, probably her best subject in school, Rob, the way she's able to get those angles and get it off the glass. Just kiss it off the glass with some English.
And a three-pointer in the air. Madison Green, no good. And the rebound taken down by Ettinger, but then taken away by Theory. AJ into the basketball game. Here's Clark now, does pick it up, hesitates, drives to the hoop, shot up and no good. But she is fouled in the act of shooting and will get a pair.
I love that decision from Caitlin in the open court, especially when she has a player like J.C. Sheldon on her. She sees she could have settled for the 3. Instead, gave a little head fake, took it all the way to the rim and drew the foul, which now I believe puts J.C. Sheldon at 2 fouls as well. So sort of an equalizer, and Caitlin's speed in the open floor is something that I would say is part of her game that people don't quite realize unless they are able to get to a game and watch in person. She is long and lanky, almost like a soccer player out there with the change of speed, change of direction, really hard to guard. Makes both at the line.
And she has 20. Hawks go up by 5. 1:37 left to go until halftime. Hawkeyes have played a lot of zone, practiced it a lot, haven't played it a lot. J.C. Sheldon on the left wing. Davis comes out on her. Now Ricky Harris in between the circles. Has played a lot for the Buckeyes. To McMahon, turnaround jumper 14, no. Ettinger the rebound, and she's fouled in the backcourt, getting a pass to a Falter.
It's a good strong rebound by Ettinger, and what you're seeing Ohio State now try to do against this zone defense is get overload. So they're sending 4 people to one side of the floor to try to create it where your defense, you've got 3 on 4. Cutting people back door to the rim once they get it to the high post. So they're trying to adjust, but so far the zone has worked pretty well for the Hawkeyes.
So A.J. Ettinger has 2 rebounds and some miscommunication. Molly Davis and Caitlin Clark. Molly thought she was going to the hoop from the right wing.
Caitlin patting her chest saying, my bad. They've usually got a pretty good kind of simpatico connection out there, Rob. I think that one was Caitlin just didn't complete the cut.
Hawks by 5. Ohio State with the ball. J.C. Sheldon for 3. Left wing knocks it down. She can get it going in a hurry. There's no doubt about that.
So it happened in the Maryland game for Ohio State earlier this week. I had shown single-digit points going into the fourth quarter, and next thing you know, she goes on a tear, and they win that game on the road.
And we've got a whistle to stop play, and it looks like that Clark's got a little blood on her right leg, so she'll get that taken care of, and the Hawkeyes will have 39.7 seconds on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock, on top by 2.
And a good time to shout out the athletic trainers. How quickly did she just get that all bandaged up? It's amazing. It's like a pit crew at NASCAR. Just back out there in no time.
And here we go. Clark takes the inbounds pass from Davis. Dribbles between her legs, out near the timeline. Hawks like to go with about 7 on the shot clock. We're at 9. Clark on the right wing. Step back, logo 3. Rimming no. Rebound along the baseline by Parks. And a whistle.
Yeah, part of what comes along with the veteran teams that we were discussing is that they know exactly how they want to guard each other. So what you saw there, you can kind of hear the crowd in the background, is Ricky Harris guarding Caitlin Clark, which she's done for 3.5 years now. Tried to get basically a flop on that. Caitlin gives a little with her arm. Ricky Harris embellishes, falls. The Ohio State bunch wanted an offensive foul, and you can appreciate the officials not giving her that call, knowing exactly what she was trying to do.
Sydney Falter picks up the foul. Hawks by 2, 8 seconds left to go. Here's Ricky Harris, 3, left wing, no good. A.J. Ediger grabs the rebound, gets it to a Falter, and the ball knocked out of bounds out of her hands by Madison Green to end the quarter. So the Hawkeyes led by 2 at the end of 1, and they lead by 2 at the half, 45-43. Just about what we expected this afternoon. University of Iowa Energy Collaborative is proud to be the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye women's basketball this season, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Learn more at uienergycollaborative.com. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. We'll take a look at the stats and have much more for you on the Bud Light Halftime Show. That's next from Value City Arena in Columbus. Iowa 45, Ohio State 43. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Whether you're building a backyard fence for your family's new best friend or firing up the excavator for your next commercial project, a free and simple call can save you from expensive fines and even save your life. Call 811 at least 2 days before you start your next project to have underground utility lines located and marked. At Mid-American Energy, your safety is our #1 priority. So, make it your priority to call 811 before you dig. Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost. So see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawkeye Women's Basketball. Brought to you by Authentic Brand, the premium label of choice. Hy-Vee, score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Lottery, be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. And by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. This is the Bud Light Halftime Show. Now back to courtside.
Hawkeyes by 2, 45-43, and welcome to the halftime show brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. It's time for our halftime stats report brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the all-new, totally free Hy-Vee Perks membership.
Yeah, Rob, looking at this box score, what you see is that it's incredibly evenly matched, starting with some team numbers. You see Iowa with their overall field goal percentage of 55.6%, right? Three-point percentage is what jumps off the page, shooting it just about 46% from three, and they've only taken 11, which is actually relatively low for this Iowa team this season. Free throw line, 91%. Great numbers there. What you do see is Ohio State with a slight edge on the rebound numbers. Ohio State with 17 total rebounds to Iowa's 16, but Ohio State with 6 offensive rebounds, which have led to 6 points off those second chance opportunities. Last team thing that jumps off the page to me is the fast break points. You see it Iowa at 12, Ohio State at 0. Continuing to run the floor and do that, keep Ohio State on their toes, and again, deflate that after they score, get them right back on D. Iowa leading scorer, Caitlin Clark, with 5 for 10 shooting, including 7 for 8 from the free throw line. Always impressive. And then some pretty good balance across the rest of the starting lineup. Hannah Stolke with 7 points, Molly Davis with 7 points, Kate Martin with 8 points, and Kate also with 4 rebounds to go along with that, including 1 offensive. Assist numbers, got Molly Davis with 3, Caitlin Clark with 4, and I think those will continue to rise as Iowa pushes the ball on offense. Like to see that Iowa's kept their turnovers low, only 7 against a pretty aggressive Ohio State defense. Jumping down the Ohio State line, Cody McMahon leading all scorers for them, 12 points on 4 of 10 shooting, followed by Taylor Theory with 9 points on 2 for 3 shooting, but 4 rebounds, 2 of those being offensive, and I think that's where she's getting her offense coming from. And kind of rounding out that box score, another key player for the Buckeyes, J.C. Sheldon, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but also 3 turnovers, which is high for her. And if Ohio State continues to turn over the ball, it's another good thing for Iowa with that defense leading to offense.
And fouls are going to be a big situation potentially in the third and fourth quarters as well. Stolke with 2, Martin with 3, Goodman with 2, but same thing for Ohio State. Theory with 3, Sheldon with 2, Taylor with 2, had them early, and Madison Green also with 2. Oak Knoll's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 57 years. Oak Knoll is conveniently located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye, and downtown Iowa City. A proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oakknoll.com to learn more. More on the Bud Light Halftime Show after the break. Iowa 45, Ohio State 43. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Escape to Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Iowa. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
Hawkeyes by 2 at the half, 45-43. Welcome back to the Bud Light halftime show from Columbus. United Healthcare, Hawkeye Athletics have teamed up for the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Want to congratulate Whip It, good catering located in Indianola, providing catering in central Iowa, as well as family-style home-cooked freezer meals that are available for purchase at the Indianola Hy-Vee. United Healthcare, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Let's check the scoreboard. First around the Big Ten with the early start here in Columbus. Most of the action a little bit later on this afternoon. Nebraska at 13-5 is at Penn State 12-5. Indiana and Purdue at it from West Lafayette at 2 o'clock. That's 15-2 Indiana. Purdue at 9-8. And Michigan at 12-6, who has defeated this Ohio State team in Ann Arbor, is at Rutgers at 6-14. Check the top 25. Plenty of action, of course, around the country as Duke is losing to number 4 NC State 38-23 at the half. Number 14 Virginia Tech 31, Clemson 28, and number 21 Creighton 33, Villanova 24. Number 13 Louisville is at number 23 North Carolina later on, as is Virginia at number 15 Florida State. Notre Dame at number 19 in the country at Wake Forest, and then USC is at Colorado this afternoon as well. Number 1 South Carolina at Texas A&M at 5 o'clock. Oregon State is at Stanford, the Cardinal number 8 in the country, and number 10 LSU at 17-2 hosts Arkansas. Both teams back out on the court, warming up for the third quarter. Iowa by 2 at 45-43. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Iowa Hawkeye Women's Basketball. Join the Iowa Lottery VIP Club and enter to win tickets to see sold-out Iowa women's basketball like it is here today in Columbus with Countdown to Carver promotion. Play Hawkeye Gold scratch tickets today. Iowa by 2, 45-43 over Ohio State. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Couple minutes away from the start of the third quarter. Both teams scored 19 in quarter number 2. The Hawkeyes outscored the Buckeyes 26-24 in the first. For the Hawkeyes, 20 from Caitlin Clark, the only player in double figures for Iowa. Same thing for Ohio State, 12 from Cody McMahon, who really got off to a good start. Should be a great second half. Stay with us. Iowa 45, Ohio State 43. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor, and Melrose Meadows. Voted Iowa City's best retirement community. Jill Armstrong and her team strive to make every buyer and seller at ease with the real estate process. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, contact the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty. For all your real estate needs, call 319-631-5455.
Hawkeyes have the ball first. Hannah Stalkey couldn't convert on a layup and kind of went down awkwardly. Took some time to get up. And then Ohio State along the baseline. Couldn't get anything up toward the basket, and the ball goes out of bounds off the Buckeyes. So it'll be Iowa basketball.
Saw Stolke come down and be walking a little bit gingerly on that ankle after that last play, which seems to be giving her some nagging pain. But looks like she's all right. Bouncing back, she's tough.
Gonna stay in the ball game, which is good. Here's Molly Davis driving down toward the right block and then pulls it back out on the right wing. Tries to get it to Clark, slashing toward the basket, and a whistle as she got tangled up with Celeste Taylor.
Sort of a strange start to the half here, Rob. We've seen kind of 3 consecutive plays with a little bit sloppy. Everybody coming out of the gates. Usually see this at the beginning of the game, not necessarily at the beginning of the second half.
And that's going to go against Celeste Taylor as the officials got together. So that'll be her third.
Now the crew going to the monitor. I think there was a little contact to the face, and pretty much anytime you see that, they will go to the monitor. I think it was clean, just kind of a physical
looked
play.
Like they just kind of got tangled up.
Yeah, exactly.
As Clark, little backdoor cut from the high post area toward the basket.
This has sort of turned into a rivalry, this Ohio State-Iowa thing. I'd say over maybe the last 10 years or so under Coach McGuff and Coach Bluter. Not geographically, maybe that sounds a little bit strange. Not the border war or anything like that, but just 5-5, 38-37 is the record over the last number of matchups against these two programs. And so I think with that level of, they're equal a little bit as far as competitiveness. And so with that comes some rivalry and comes some fire. And I think that's where some of these fouls are legitimate, and it's a physical game. It's a heated game because it's a rivalry in the minds of these players and coaches.
And both have been good.
Exactly.
During that run. So you're always kind of fighting for position at the top of the league, and always think that potentially you're going to meet at least in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, it's been happening for years, and I think at the beginning of the season, Big Ten pundits and people across the conference and across the country were actually picking Ohio State ahead of Iowa, with kind of the uncertainty, question marks around what this Iowa team would look like with the graduation of Monica Sonano and McKenna Warnock. And with Ohio State, kind of the opposite. They retained pretty much their entire starting lineup. They have Madison Green back, which is actually a player that has a pretty amazing story. She plays with a knee brace on her left knee. She's gone through 3 ACL reconstructions, and so there's some storylines there that you can really appreciate whether you're a fan of either team.
Right.
To see a player with that type of resilience and out there playing in her home state with all those knee surgeries under her belt is a pretty cool story.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's a lot of perseverance for sure. So after a trip to the monitor, doesn't look like anything will come of that, and it will be Iowa basketball along the baseline. Clark will throw it in. No score here in the third quarter. Still Hawkeyes by 2 at 45-43. 18,660 in attendance today.
And that was the third foul on Celeste Taylor, which is big.
And Clark comes off a screen and buries a three-pointer from the right wing.
Yeah, the baseline out-of-bounds plays are something Iowa's been scoring really effectively and efficiently off this season. That was another one. Clark coming in as the inbounder. It's hard to keep track of her. Gets an open look.
Taylor gets an open look and knocks down a three-pointer on the left wing.
Big answer from Celeste Taylor after getting one in her face.
And she'll stay in the game with those 3 fouls. Here's Clark at the top of the key. Hawks by 2 with the basketball, just underway, third quarter. Dribbles in between her legs, and now drives toward the basket, kicks it off in the corner. Molly Davis for three, rimming no. McMahon the rebound, down court to J.C. Sheldon, up and under move, no good with the right hand.
That would have been on SportsCenter top 10 had that gone down. Been. Wow, crafty through the lane, looked like she was clogging her way through like a tap dancer.
And here's Clark, logo three, all net, left to the top of the key.
Yeah, Rob, my Northeast Ohio geography is not so strong, but that's where she shot that one from on the logo. Nothing but net once again.
Maybe Youngstown?
Yeah, maybe. Your guess
Akron, maybe?
As good as mine.
51-46. Hawkeyes on top. Clark with a couple of three-pointers. Michalashikova goes to work in the paint with the left hand and gets the roll.
Yeah, Stolke stood her ground but didn't try to take the drop there, and knowing that she could draw the foul, but she could get a blocking call. So stood her ground, gave up the layup.
And then a down-court pass, and Hannah had a wide-open layup, but just bobbled the ball. Couldn't bring it in. It went out of bounds. Ohio State with it. Hawks by three. Just underway. Third quarter action from Columbus.
Ohio State facing this Iowa 2-3 zone once again, trying to get some traps, looks like, along the baseline. It leads to a turnover.
And Caitlin Clark, I think, got a hand on it. She gets the ball back from Marshall, tried to get it inside to Martin. It's knocked away by the Buckeyes, but retained by Molly Davis. Hawks will reset. Here is Clark. And she had it knocked away by Cody McMahon and goes off of Clark's left hand and out of bounds. And the defense of Ohio State forced a Hawkeye turnover there.
Now, Ohio State's really long. McMahon, Taylor Theory, Celeste Taylor, all three 6 foot with really long arms. And that can be disruptive, especially for a player like Caitlin. And you know what's interesting to watch is how hyped opposing teams get when they do draw a turnover for Caitlin. It's something that she has to deal with that most players don't on the court. And I think is maybe another underappreciated element of her game is the composure that she's drawn over her 4 years in an Iowa uniform.
And McMahon at full steam ahead going down the right side of the lane. Lost control of the ball. She was moving too fast that time. Actually ran into Hannah Stolke, who did a great job holding her ground, but she had lost the ball out of bounds along the baseline first.
Thinking that might have knocked the wind out of Stolke a little bit to have Cody McMahon come in full steam ahead straight at your chest. Can't imagine that feels too good on a Sunday morning.
Hawks by three, 7 minutes left to go, third quarter. Clark, that right-handed dribble, brings it across the timeline. Angles left side, will pull up for three. Straight away, no. And the rebound taken down by Theory. Gets it to Madison Green, who just got into the game. Now J.C. Sheldon on the right wing. Gets it into McMahon in the paint. Up and under move. Off balance, no. And a whistle. And this will go against, I think, Ohio State on the rebound.
And over the back by Taylor Theory. It was a great box out by Iowa, and that's what led to the over the back call. Is Kate Martin just getting a body pretty much textbook. So that's her fourth for Taylor Theory. It sends her to the bench, which is great for the Iowa Hawkeye offense.
That's going to be a big storyline in the second half. Both teams with some significant foul issues. Kate Martin drives down the right side of the lane, has it blocked, and goes out of bounds. Touched last by Ohio State.
Yeah, nice to see there. Iowa running a set they've had in for years. Try to get, it's what they call a draft drive, where Kate Martin was driving right off the tail of Marshall ahead of her. I think they had a few possessions in a row where they didn't love the quick threes, so trying to get a set play in and get the shot that they wanted.
Fans didn't like the call after seeing the replay, and now Kate Martin tries to make a move on the left block, and she's going to be called for a charge. That's her fourth.
Yep, that's matching it, but it was, I think, the right call. I mean, you dropped.
Kind of led with that elbow.
Exactly, led with her front elbow. Credit Ricky Harris for getting position. Got underneath her a little bit, but took a charge. Can see why the officials made that call.
Hawks by three. Ohio State with the basketball. Sheldon to Madison Green on the left wing. Bounce pass to McMahon, high post area, goes toward the basket, spin move up, a little bit strong, goes after the rebound, and this is going to be over the back on McMahon after a nice box out by Hannah Stolke.
Yeah, and you're seeing both coaches at this point get a little hot with these officials. It's 2 consecutive over the back calls on Ohio State, but I'll tell you this, at least they're being consistent. Cody McMahon getting her third foul with that over the back.
So Theory with 4, McMahon with 3, Kate Martin with 4. Stalky catches underneath, misses the first, misses the second, but taps it to Molly Davis. Floater paint is good. Good job by Hannah to keep it alive. Madison Green tries to weave her way into the paint, and a foul on the perimeter will be called on the Hawkeyes.
Saw Ohio State try to give Iowa a taste of their own medicine there, just pushing really hard in offensive transition off the Iowa make, forcing the Iowa defense to get back and get set, but did exactly what they wanted, drew the foul.
53-48 Hawkeyes, Ohio State with the basketball, and they get it in. And now some confusion as to when the ball came in, it was tapped out of bounds. Was it Sheldon or Marshall? And now they call a jump ball.
Basically meaning neither official saw it, so they're just deferring to the possession arrow.
But it'll stay with Ohio State. Inside, McMahon up strong, couldn't convert. Ball tapped out of bounds. Touched last by Addie O'Grady, who has come in for Hannah Stalky. And Ohio State will have it along the baseline. Iowa 53, Ohio State 48. 5:36 left to go, third quarter. And the ball lobbed out to J.C. Sheldon, takes a dribble and knocks it down from the elbow 15 feet away.
Third time was the charm. 3 straight baseline out of bounds plays. And I see Clark turn it over, just got going a little too fast.
Down court pass, Sheldon layup, right hand, left side, good.
I saw Caitlin Clark trying to beat the rest of the Ohio State defense down the floor. The ball got a little loose, and that offense coming from their defense yet again.
1 point lead for the Hawkeyes after a run by Ohio State. Inside, O'Grady goes to the left hand and finishes on the left block after a terrific pass by Caitlin Clark. Nice catch by Addie O'Grady, and she'll come to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
The level of difficulty on that play for O'Grady was pretty high. I mean, she caught it, had to maneuver through some guards running at her, and still to get the finish with her left hand on the left block was impressive. So nice to see that out of O'Grady. And on the other end of the floor, you're seeing O'Grady's impact on this basketball game. It's her length, and that's the strength that she brings to this Iowa team, different from the length of Hannah Stolke down on the block. She alters shots, and she makes people uncomfortable trying to shoot over her.
And Addie knocks down the free throw. She had 6 against Wisconsin. 3-point play puts the Hawkeyes up by 4 as we go under 5 in the third quarter. Michalashikova, left wing, gets into the paint. Shot blocked by Addie O'Grady and out of bounds. Ohio State basketball after the timeout. Good minutes for Addie O'Grady.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always in there with Addie. She's got a lot in the tank, and depending on the game, she always has to be ready when her number is called. And that's something that's really difficult for athletes. And, kind of those unsung heroes on sports teams where, they don't get the minutes or maybe the glory that some of their teammates do. But those are the ones that make a team, Rob. And, to see Addie come in and play good minutes in this sort of stage, it's 15th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. It makes you really happy for her.
She'll be needed in the second half. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. 4:50 left to go in the third quarter. Iowa by 4, 56-52. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships. Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while you're hard at work in class or on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
It has been a back-and-forth contest so far. Hawkeyes have outscored Ohio State in the third quarter 11-9. This game has been tied 7 times and 5 lead changes. The Hawkeyes have led for almost 20 minutes. Lead by 4 right now, but not much separation. Here's McMahon racing in the paint, shot short, did everything but go in. Sheldon gets the rebound, kicks it out to Madison Green for 3. That's an air ball. Takes 1 bounce and goes out of bounds along the baseline. Iowa basketball.
Still, the offensive rebounds, I think, something Iowa needs to shore up here in this last 15 minutes of this contest. It's a little risky. They're flirting with fire by allowing those second chance opportunities. Just didn't convert there by Madison Green.
Here's Clark coming off a screen on the left wing. Dribbles toward the baseline. Bounce pass into Addie O'Grady. Goes up with the left hand and scores off the window.
Man, I'm so happy to see this for Addie O'Grady, especially the kind of the finesse which she plays with. You know, you've got a point guard like Caitlin. She's going to get you the basketball in really good spots. And for Addie to be able to convert, it's really nice to see.
And Kevin McGruff calls a 30-second timeout as the Hawkeyes go up 58-52. And Catherine, you just never know who the hero might be in a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think about just recent memory, that Indiana game for Iowa at home, and think about Molly Davis coming in the game, and Caitlin was on the bench a little bit and scoring double-digit points in the quarter. Any member of this team, when their name is called, can step up, and that's what makes an Iowa team so dangerous, is that everybody plays their role to the best of their ability. And, you know, I credit Coach Bluter for that being the case, because that's what she talks about year in and year out, is what is your role and how can you do your role to the best of your ability, whether you're the person cheering as loud as possible on the bench, whether you're Addie coming in for Hannah Stolke to get her a breather, Sydney Fulter, everybody doing their specific role to the best of their ability, and no role is more important than the next.
Out of the timeout, McMahon in between the circles. Here's J.C. Sheldon, gets the ball to Madison Green, and she'll bring it up top. Now right side, Sheldon, Green, Michalashikova, as the Ohio State Buckeyes with Green go down the right side of the lane, and going up is Green, blocked away by O'Grady. She gets it to Clark across the timeline. Now on the right wing, Sydney Falter into the game at the top of the key. Bounce pass off to Molly Davis. Hawkeyes by 6 with the basketball. Clark fakes a 3, drives baseline, gets into the paint, tries to whip it across the lane to Davis. Knocked out of bounds by Ohio State. The Hawkeyes will have it.
You're seeing Iowa try to get a lot of pick and roll action with Addie O'Grady involved, because they have to give so much attention to the ball handler, especially when it's Caitlin Clark, that they can get Addie on that roll, and that's how she's gotten her last 2 scores. So you like to see that pick and roll action. It's hard to guard against this Iowa team.
And Cody McMahon picks up a foul on the left wing against a driving Sydney Falter.
The out-of-bounds play there, set it up for Sida Falter, kind of bring Caitlin out to the top of the key. Usually takes 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 defenders with her, and so the whole baseline was open there for Sydney Falter to drive and draw that foul on an isolation drive.
So that'll be 3 on McMahon. Sydney's first free throw perfect. Hawkeyes now 12 out of 13 from the stripe. Sydney's first point. 7 double-figure games this year. Knocks down the second one, and the Hawkeyes go up by 8, 60-52. 3:15 left to go, third quarter. Sheldon. Now a cross-court pass taken by Ricky Harris, who knocked down a couple of threes in the first half. 15-foot jump shot is up and no good. Air ball by Taylor. Ball goes out of bounds over to the Hawkeyes. And Kylie Feuerbach for Gabby Marshall.
Ohio Ohio State looked a little out of sorts on that last offensive possession, didn't really get into any sort of pattern, and I think that's part of why you've seen Iowa stay in this zone defense is Ohio State's numbers against the player-to-player versus the zone go down because they're just not quite as comfortable when they don't have those open driving lanes and one-on-one matchups.
A falter in between the circles, hands it off to Addie O'Grady. Now pushes it to Clark on the left wing. Clark now gets it back from O'Grady in between the circles and has it stolen away by Taylor. Taylor drives in, lost control, the basketball along the baseline. And the trail official will say it went off of Iowa. So it'll be Ohio State basketball.
I suppose they have a better angle than we do, but from up here, Rob, that one certainly looked like it went off.
Kind of lost control of it, yeah.
Looked that way.
Hawks by 8. Ohio State gets it in to Taylor on the left block. Kicks it back out to Shoemate just in the game. And she buries the three-pointer. That's the scouting report on her. Kylie Feuerbach tries to answer. Three-pointer left wing, no. A falter, the weak side rebound. Pulls it out, free throw line extended right. Sydney drops it inside for Addie O'Grady. A little bit strong on the layup attempt. And it's taken down by J.C. Sheldon. 5-point basketball game now. Iowa with the lead as we approach 2 left to go in the third. Here's Taylor to left side. Molly Davis comes out on her in the 2-3 zone. Now Sheldon on the left block, lost control of the ball, went to her knees to pick it up. Gets it into the corner. Shoemate again. Knocks down the three-pointer. Boy, that's instant offense.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said, Rob. There's a reason Emma Shoemate's in the game for this Ohio State team, and it's to shoot the three-point field goal. Shooting nearly 42% on the year from three, and really that's what about 100% of her shot attempts are coming from behind the three-point line.
Clark gets it back from O'Grady. Now hands it off to Molly Davis. Lead cut to 2. Davis flips it inside. Addie O'Grady goes up with the left hand on the left side and scores. Nice high-low action.
Great find from Molly Davis. She has such good court vision, and O'Grady's such a long target. Be able to catch and finish, keep the ball high, like Coach Jensen always preaches to her.
Kylie Feuerbach almost with the steal and then commits a foul against J.C. Sheldon. Marshall back for Feuerbach. And Hannah Stalkey for Addie O'Grady. Terrific minutes by Addie. She had 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points, a couple blocks, and a couple that don't go on the stat sheet where she affects the game and making people uncomfortable trying to shoot over her.
Hawks by 4 as the ball is knocked away by Stalkey against Mishala Shikova. And then Marshall, away from the ball, is going to be charged with her foul. That's her third. Buckeyes get it in. Mishala Shikova, baseline jumper from 7, no. A falter the rebound. Gets it ahead to Clark.
That's going
Eyes
up.
a 3, rimming no from the left side. And a falter gets the rebound. Went up, hit the bottom of the rim. And McMahon comes away with it in the front court. Then is stolen away by Clark into the hands of Molly Davis. Davis at the free throw line. Drops it off for a falter. Left-handed layup. Count it. And she's fouled.
Wow, what a sequence there. And it all started with the quick 3 from Clark. You're seeing that because when the clock gets anywhere below about 65 seconds, minute and 5, what I was trying to do is get what they call a 2-for-1 play, where they get a quick shot, they go play defense, and then they get the ball back for the last possession of the half. And they execute that incredibly well, especially with point guards in their senior year. So that forcing the turnover, maybe got away with one, tapping the ball out of McMahon's hands, going the other way, and then Sydney falter with the strong finish and the three-point play as she finishes it with the free throw.
She has 5. That's the third foul on J.C. Sheldon, and the Hawkeyes go up 65-58. 40 seconds left to go in the third. Ohio State in the front court. Sheldon, top of the key. Angles right side. Back out to Mishala Shikova. Three-pointer rattles around and spins out left to the top of the key. Stalkey the rebound, hands it off to Caitlin Clark. And the Hawks can pretty much run the final seconds to the third quarter off and get the final look.
And that's that 2-for-1 that we're talking about. It's huge because these close games come down to 1 or 2 possessions, and to get this last possession of the quarter is a huge advantage for Iowa.
Boy, a basket here would be huge. Clark angles left side, whips a pass inside. Stalkey, right-handed layup, no, and that'll do it. Oh, well-designed play, just couldn't get the finish.
Yeah, it was a great pass, great vision. It didn't go for Stolke, but those will go, and that's what you can see right now. You can see Caitlin Clark went directly for her in the timeout here at the end of the quarter, giving her confidence, telling her, hey, I'm going to keep hitting you with that pass, and I know you're going to make that layup.
65-58, the Hawkeyes will have the lead heading into the fourth quarter. Today's game is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Working together is how you win. That's why Mid-American Energy's roster of wind, solar, and other energy sources works together to keep your service safe and reliable 24/7. Learn more at midamericanenergy.com. Boy, 2 there would have been huge for the Hawkeyes, but still will take the lead into the fourth quarter. Iowa 65, Ohio State 58. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Boy, credit the bench, and in particular, Addie O'Grady and Sid DeFulter combined for 12 points in the third quarter. Hawkeyes won that one by 5 at 20-15, 65-58, the Iowa advantage. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, and voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year, proudly supports Iowa women's basketball. Trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets. Hawkeye basketball. Here's Clark, three-pointer left side, drilled it right in front of the Hawkeye bench.
Oh, we had a perfect angle on that one, Rob. You could tell it was pure from the second it left her hand, and really a little surprised to see Celeste Taylor, who's really a defensive, that's kind of her, the key to her game, and to see her let Caitlin get loose.
Caitlin knocked down 2 3-pointers right at the beginning of the third quarter, silent since then. 68-58, the Hawkeyes go up by 10. That's their big lead. Michalashikova on the right side, drives down, pushes a shot up, no good. Stolke the rebound.
You can see them going straight at Kate Martin, who's back in the game now with 4 fouls under her belt. But they're Ohio State playing the same game that Iowa is, trying to expose the people with foul trouble and draw those fifth, get them out of the game.
Here's Davis in between the circles for the Hawkeyes. Hands to Clark out near the hash mark. Fake to 3. Got it to Davis. She drives. Paint. Hook shot is up and rolls it in right in the middle of the paint.
Yeah, what Caitlin does is open things up so much for other people. As soon as she passed to Molly, she cut really hard and it cleared out all this space because the defense has to go with Caitlin. They can't help off. And Molly's such a smart player, very heady, and can see when that's going to happen and is a step ahead of everybody and seeing it. And then again with her geometry, get that thing up in the air.
And Kevin McGruff up off the bench. 30-second timeout, Ohio State, after the Hawkeyes go up 70-58. Hawk fans, don't forget, throughout the season, you can join Head coach Lisa Bluter and me for Hawk Talk, presented by Oakdale at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Hawk Talk with Coach Bluter every week from 6 until 7. You can visit HawkeyeSports.com to take a look at the schedule. We certainly welcome everybody to come out. We'll be there tomorrow night. And certainly looking forward to that. Great crowd last week and expect the same tomorrow. Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, presented by Oakdale tomorrow night, 6 until 7. You can also earn $250 when you open an eligible checking account at the Tiffin branch or online with Farmers State Bank. Get rewarded for banking with FSB. Visit myfsbonline.com for complete details. Subject to approval, minimum $50 deposit. Requires e-statements and direct deposit. Member FDIC. They've extended this to a full timeout. 8:49 left to go in the ballgame. Iowa 70, Ohio State 58. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources. Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, our partner in a collaborative, ENGIE North America, is now offering part-time, on-campus positions where you can get hands-on, career-inspiring experience in sustainable utility systems management. Check out the jobs and apply now at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat. Nice. Which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Out of the timeout, Ohio State basketball. J.C. Sheldon on the left wing. Hawkeyes with the 5 starters in the game. McMahon makes a move toward the basket. Goes up right in front of the semicircle and finishes. So McMahon scores. And that will be the third on Hannah Stolke.
You'll see Cody McMahon be first team All Big Ten again this year. I think she just is so hard to guard because she's not really a center. She's not really a guard. She's kind of this in-between and has incredible strength and body balance when she's finishing at the rim. It makes it hard to guard for just about anybody that you throw at her.
And rolls in the free throw. 15 for McMahon. Quiet in the third quarter. 70-61. Hawkeyes with the lead and the ball. Bounce pass inside. Stolke from Caitlin Clark. Easy right-handed layup. And Hannah has 9.
Now, coming out of the timeout, you saw Ohio State bring that press back that we hadn't seen since the first quarter. Not surprising, down 11 here in the fourth quarter to try to force some offense.
And go right into McMahon. Goes to work up off the window and scores. Just too strong underneath.
And you see Iowa now controlling the tempo a little bit. They're going to take their time on offense, not get out of a rhythm by going so slow, but use as much clock as possible within reason to try to limit the possessions that Ohio State has left in this game.
Yeah, we're under 8 fourth quarter, 72-63. Here's Gabby Marshall for 3, left wing off the back of the bracket. Rebound taken down by J.C. Sheldon. Brings it across the timeline on the right wing. Now gets to Michalashikova, back to Sheldon. Just right at the top of the key. Now she spins, goes all the way into the basket. Layup, right hand, left side, good.
Sheldon's so good with that change of speed. All it was a slight hesitation. Gets Gabby Marshall to stand up for just that half a second split and then get to the rim with explosiveness.
And a run by the Buckeyes, and Lisa Bluter up off the bench and takes a timeout.
close game all of a sudden. Now you're back to just a few possession game and kind of seeing Ohio State get some momentum. So I like to see that call from Coach Bluder. Get regrouped, talk about not what you want to run only, but also how you want to run it and how you want to manage the next 7 minutes of this game, and remind them, hey guys, keep your foot on the gas. Yeah, we want to control the possessions and take as much time as we can, but we also need to still be looking to score, stay aggressive, and do what's given us this lead.
72-65 with 7:23 left to go in regulation. Hawkeye timeout, and we remind you that the Iowa City Area Sports Commission is responsible for our community being home to countless amateur sporting events and state tournaments, from state volleyball, wrestling, tennis, and much more. The Sports Commission generates significant annual economic impact while adding substantially to our quality of life. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is a proud presenting sponsor of University of Iowa Women's Athletics. Learn more at wegotnext.org. So Clark with 29. Also has now 7 assists. And it looked like, to Catherine, that Maddie O'Grady will get back into the game. And she really impacted play at both the offensive and defensive ends, especially in that third quarter.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have when you're not sure which center you want to keep in the game. You know, you're seeing quality minutes from Hannah Stolke across the season, but then also today, Addie's playing well. So giving her another go here and recognizing what she brings to the game, that, you know, just by nature of her length at 6'4", of what she can do to impact things in the lane for this Iowa team.
O'Grady so far with 7 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, no turnovers, and 2 blocks in just under 12 minutes of action.
I always like to see what Coach Bluder draws up. ATO after timeout. She's usually got something up her sleeve.
Hawks get it in to Molly Davis. Brings it to the right side. Now a Fulter. Here's Clark coming off a screen. 3-ball, no. Missed it from the top of the key. And McMahon races down the rebound.
Little long on the 3, but I think Iowa got the look they wanted. Caitlin coming off a screen away for a 3 at the top of the key.
Inside, Michalashikova knocked away by Clark, but gathered by Taylor. And with 12 to shoot, Ohio State resets. Now Theory hasn't played much due to foul trouble. Kicks it back out as J.C. Sheldon, a runner in the paint from 12 feet, is up and good.
You know, it's fun to watch. She's such a skilled player. Shot that off 1 foot. So athletic and agile, and you know, so something you can just appreciate as a basketball fan.
Clark trying to bounce pass to O'Grady, picked off by Taylor. Down court, Sheldon, right-handed layup, good.
Turnovers, defense leading to offense for Ohio State, which is exactly how they want to play the game. And now you're in a little precarious situation. A 3-point game with 6 minutes to go. It looks a lot different than it did just about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, Hawkeyes had a double-digit lead a few minutes ago. Inside, O'Grady lost control of the ball, gets it back out to Marshall, fakes a 3. Now Molly Davis will fire a 3 and knock it down from the left wing. Huge.
Big answer from Molly Davis, and good patience from Gabby Marshall. It's what Coach Bluder preaches. Pass up a good shot for a great shot, and that's what Marshall did, the veteran guard on this Iowa team.
Michalashikova in the corner. Hawks now by 6. Here is McMahon at the elbow. Gets toward the basket, and a foul will be called on the Hawkeyes. See if this will go against Clark for a reach. That'll be her second. Hannah Stolke and Kate Martin back for the Hawkeyes. It'll be Ohio State basketball, 75-69 Hawkeyes, 5:45 left to go.
You can see Coach McGuff now arguing that foul should have been called a shooting foul. Referees can get together to talk about it. Looks like they, in fact, might even change it. What do you think? They did. Yeah. I can't say that I agree with that one, Rob. I think Caitlin reached in on the dribble and slapped across the wrist. Yeah, I think so. But nonetheless, free throws for McMahon.
Not a great free throw shooter, but gets the first one to go. She's certainly, along with J.C. Sheldon, been the 2 most active offensive players by far for Ohio State today. Swishes the second. McMahon has 19.
You didn't see Taylor Theory in the game, so now you're back to that starting lineup for Ohio State, going with their experience here in amidst the foul trouble.
And almost a steal on a pass to the wing by J.C. Sheldon, but the ball goes out of bounds. Iowa will have it on top by 4. 5:36 left to go. Here's a steal by McMahon as Martin tried to get it to Clark. Bounce pass to Taylor. Paint. Shot. No. Battle for the rebound. Taylor digs it up. Hands it off to McMahon. And she lays it up and in.
Second chance points, Rob. Those are backbreakers. You know, anytime you give up the offensive rebound and a quick layup, it's deflating.
And Ohio State grabs a 1-point lead. Here's Martin in between the circles. And a whistle away from the ball. It looks like this will go against Ohio State. Michalashikova, her first. Clark will inbounds the ball. Does so to Kate Martin. Free throw line extended left. Bounce pass inside. Stuelke goes to work with the left hand. No. Weak side rebound. McMahon brings it across the timeline. Drives down the right side. Pulls up her dribble. Now gets it to Michalashikova. And now back to Celeste Taylor, the transfer from Duke, and she'll set things up. High post area. McMahon, and walked with it as she tried to back her way toward the middle of the post. Probably looking to get that spin move again.
That's exactly what I was going to say. She loves that spin move. She just didn't take the ball with her that time.
Hawks on top by 2. 75-73. High post area for Martin. Gets it to Clark. Coming off a screen. Layup. No. But she's fouled.
Well, it's really nice action from Iowa. Just see a little down screen from Stuelke to Clark down by the block, curling her around the paint. It was a beautiful pass, and not a shot you're going to see Caitlin miss really often, but she really had to kind of maneuver her way through the lane and made for a tough layup. But free throws for Clark are always a good thing.
And the 4th foul on Celeste Taylor. So now 2 Ohio State starters have 4 fouls. Clark's first is no good. Off the back of the iron.
Rob, what do you think it's like to have people react that way when you miss a free throw?
Right. Well, you were right about the turnover situation, too. Second one, perfect by Clark. Yeah. Now she has 30.
Feels like when you're shooting with your dad in the driveway when you're a kid and they're trying to get you better for situations like this. It's just every single time she steps to the line, it's one of those.
Well, anything she does, right? Hawks by 3, 76-73. Michalashikova gets it back to McMahon. Races toward the basket. Scoop shot is up and good. Had a long Euro step and scored.
Yeah, an impressive Euro step. That's a pro move from Coney McMahon, and that's why you hear basketball pundits across the country talk about how good she'll be at the next level, and she's just a sophomore, and they're having that conversation.
Bounce pass from Clark inside to Stuelke. She goes up, and a blocking foul will be called on the Buckeyes.
That's big. It's going to be the 4th foul on Coney McMahon. So like you said, now we're going to have 3 key players for Ohio State with 4 fouls with 4 minutes to go. I mean, that's significant in this game.
Your top 3 scorers today.
Exactly.
So Stuelke at the line. First one, long, no good. Hawks by 1. 3:59 left to go in regulation. Iowa had a big lead of 12 early in this quarter. Second one, rimming no. Michalashikova with the rebound. Now J.C. Sheldon across the timeline. Plays catch with Taylor. Taylor faked a 3, now puts it on the floor all the way to the rim. Layup good.
Really nice take. Probably could have called a foul there too. I'm glad that they didn't. Good to see. Let him play.
Clark for 3. Left side no good. J.C. Sheldon the rebound.
So Ohio State's first lead in quite some time, Rob.
77-76, and with the basketball. But plenty of time left at 3:20. Have to go back to the first quarter when Ohio State had a lead. Lob pass inside. Layup by Theory. No good. Wide open. Missed it. Clark the rebound across the timeline. Drives down the right side of the lane. Layup good. Untouched for Caitlin Clark.
Beautiful hesitation move from Clark. The change of speed, just kind of what you saw Ohio State doing to Iowa, now Clark doing back to Ohio State. Change of speed, hesitation to get all the way to the rim. And I'd like to see Iowa continue to do that. I think when they got that 12-point lead, the transition game kind of took a step back. But now, no reason to stop with what's working best for you. And those transition points have been good to them today. With now 17-plus points in transition for the Hawkeyes.
Timeout on the floor. 3:04 left to go. Iowa 78, Ohio State 77. And Addie O'Grady will come back in after the 30-second timeout. Clark with 32. And now O'Grady will go back to the Iowa bench, and Hannah Stolke will run out on the floor. So the starting five for the Hawkeyes: Martin, Marshall, Stolke, Davis, Clark. Ohio State basketball. Iowa by 1. Sheldon across the timeline, angles right. Michalashikova reverses the ball to McMahon. Now a lob pass intended for Michalashikova from the high post area, knocked away and into the hands of Martin. Now to Clark, top of the key, and Clark gets underneath and scoops it up and in with her back to the basket.
Wow, crafty from Caitlin Clark. And again, I love to see it, just pushing the ball in transition, knowing that this Ohio State defense is vulnerable with the number of fouls that they have for various players, going straight at the rim.
Back to the basket, just put it up over her head and scored, and Clark almost with a steal. Theory gets it back, drives in, contact, and a blocking foul will be called. A little bit of a late whistle along the baseline, and I think this will go against Hannah Stolke.
Yeah, back to Clark's shot. That kind of looked like one of those shots you'd see someone do in the game of horse or something, where they're trying to make it challenging for you to match it. Shot it backwards over her head, kind of acrobatic. But now you're going to see O'Grady come back into the game after that last foul on Hannah Stolke. And, sometimes matchups just are what they are, especially when the game is being called as tight as this one is, when Addie can just use her length, stay straight up, where, they're going straight into Stolke's chest. So I think Addie O'Grady brings a different presence for that reason.
Taylor Theory makes the first one. Second one rolls in. She has 11. Lead cut to 1. 2:20 left to go. Iowa 80, Ohio State 79. Clark walks it across the timeline. Here's Martin in between the circles. Marshall. Now to Clark. Fakes a three. Puts it on the floor. Tries to get by. Ricky Harris couldn't. And then now gets it to O'Grady. And it's knocked away by Ohio State. Down court to Theory. Now Sheldon in the paint after a Hawkeye turnover. And now Ohio State will reset. We're under 2. Iowa 80, Ohio State 79. Sheldon, left side. Hands it off to Theory. Dribbles between her legs. Now to Sheldon for 3. Strong off the right side of the rim. Martin gets the rebound.
Oh, it's a great rebound from Kate Martin, securing the ball strong when it was really kind of a loose ball up for grabs, 50-50 ball, and winning those is huge in this end of this game.
Here's Clark out near the hash mark left side. 1:20 left to go. Clark puts it on the floor, gets into the paint all the way to the rim, and a foul will be called.
It's a good call from Jesse Dickerson underneath the basket, to coming straight down, raking across Caitlin's arms from Ricky Harris. I think it's the right call, especially the way it's been called today. Why wouldn't that one be, Rob?
Right on the left wrist. Harris picks up her first. 2 shots for Caitlin Clark. First one, perfect.
It's been interesting to see Iowa stay in that zone defense, even with the game getting tighter. And, sometimes I think they think Ohio State looks a little less comfortable against that look than they do against the player-to-player. So we'll see here. Yep, you see Coach Bluter signaling, staying in the zone.
Clark rattles home the second one. Timeout taken by Kevin McGuff. And this will be a full timeout with 1:17 left to go. 2 Caitlin Clark free throws, and the Hawkeyes go up 82-73. Still a one-possession game in Columbus. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Ohio State basketball out of the timeout. Here's Harris in between the circles. Now to McMahon. Drives down the right side. Shot short off the window. Got it back and scored and is fouled.
It's the second chance points. That's what happens. You know, Iowa defended that set pretty well. It was a nice little screening action to get McMahon a look at the rim. Worked out well, but it's the one shot. You can't give him a second one. That's sending her to the line as well. Insult to injury on those plays.
That was, and she's a quick jumper. Missed that first one and attacked that basketball to get it back. And at the line, free throw, rimming no, into the hands of Kate Martin. 82-81. Hawkeyes on top with the basketball. We're under a minute.
How fun is this, Rob? What more could you ask for on a Sunday? The sun shining outside. 82-81.
Here's Marshall, right wing, back to Clark, to Martin for three. Short off the front of the rim. Missed it left to the top of the key. Run down by McMahon. Now to Sheldon. Hawkeyes will get the basketball back on top by one. Sheldon on the right wing. Now Theory in between the circles. Here's McMahon in that same area. Theory, free throw line extended right, plays catch with McMahon. We're under 10 on the shot clock, 19 on the game clock. Now making a move is Taylor. Goes up and scores on the left block. Timeout Iowa with 16 seconds left to go. Ohio State grabs a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and that's what you see when you got these fifth-year seniors. You know, they're ready for the moment. Celeste Taylor had been quiet most of the day on the offensive end, and then they're able to go to her in this situation. A little bit of a size advantage on Molly Davis and a tough finish. So this is high-quality basketball that we're seeing, Rob, with a lot of very experienced players at this Power 5 level.
Just went up after a couple of dribbles against Davis, as you mentioned, and banked it in just off the left block.
So now it'll be interesting to see if you're Iowa. You obviously, you're down one. You don't need a three. You're looking to probably get a two at the rim. Shoot with enough time to get yourself a rebound. And if you do happen to miss it and get the ball back up, if they do miss, Ohio State gets the rebound. You're likely looking at as quick of a foul as possible.
Hawkeyes will have it in the front court. Martin looks, gets it into Clark in between the circles, goes down the right side of the lane, layup strong, Stuckey the rebound, goes up hard and is fouled. Couldn't connect, but plenty of traffic there, and Hannah Stuckey at the free throw line with 10.7 left to go.
Really like the set from Iowa. They cleared out the right side of the floor for Clark to get to the rim, and credit Hannah Stuckey for pursuing that offensive rebound and going up into contact. Sending her to the free throw line, a place that on her career, she hasn't necessarily been the most comfortable, but she's made immense strides there, and love seeing her go to the line, knock these down.
First one strong. The last three have both hit the back of the bracket, and needs this one to tie with 10.7 left to go.
You see Kate Martin and trying to instill confidence in Hannah at the lines. Great teammate and great leader.
Swishes the second. We are tied at 83. Here's Sheldon across the timeline. seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Sheldon, step back three-pointer at the buzzer, strong. Ball is loose, and the buzzer sounds. We are headed to overtime, tied at 83. Sheldon had a good look, just left to the top of the key.
Yeah, and she tried to get it off in time for the same thing, to get them time to get the rebound and put it back up. But just a few seconds ago, I asked you what more could we ask for, and I guess this was it. Free basketball. 83-83. I love it, and you can feel the energy in here. It's a lot of fun and really cool to see where women's basketball is right now at the collegiate level. It's a game on national television, 83-83, high level on both ends of the court, and headed to overtime. 5 minutes of free basketball, Rob? Come on.
At least.
Yeah, hey, wish it into existence, huh?
Hey, any way you can win a basketball game.
You know,
and this was the scenario, and you know, credit Hannah Stolke too. Went up strong, got fouled, missed the first, had missed 3 consecutive free throws, but then calmly knocked down the one that really needed to at least tie the game.
Yeah, no easy feat. You know, she stepped back off the line after missing the front end, gathered herself, and then, you know, I also want to credit Kate Martin for the leadership she shows in those moments. It's a lot of little things. You know, it's not been a great game for Kate, and that's frustrating. She's had 4 fouls. It's really hard to get into the flow of the game, but sometimes it's the intangibles that don't go in the box score, and Stolke really believes in Kate. She trusts her immensely, and so for Kate to tell her, hey, I know you're going to make this second free throw, it makes all the difference in the world for a young player like Stolke.
So the Hawkeyes will start with Martin, Marshall, Stolke, Davis, and Clark. Theory, Sheldon, Taylor, Michalashikova will start on the bench. Or no, now she's into the game, but Theory will jump. McMahon in there as well. So Theory and Stolke. Theory wins the tap into the hands of Sheldon, and the first overtime possession will go to Ohio State. Sheldon hands it off to Taylor. Now to Theory, in between the circles. Left side Taylor. Michalashikova now takes a couple dribbles in the paint. Looked like she traveled and got away with it. And then the rebound taken down by the Hawkeyes after a kick by Ohio State. Boy, they let her really shuffle her feet in there.
Yeah, they sure did. And you saw another offensive rebound from Ohio State there. When a 5-minute quarter like this, you know, possessions really matter. They always do, but especially in a scenario like this. So I think Iowa needs to be hitting those box outs every single time and going aggressively to the rim.
Clark, a deep three-pointer from the logo. Back of the bracket, no good. Just kind of brought that one across the timeline and fired it up. We're tied at 83 in overtime. Ohio State with the basketball. Here's Sheldon, left to the top of the key. Taylor, now McMahon, high post area, drives in, layup, good off the window.
Yep, exactly what we've seen from Ohio State all day is get that isolation on the center in the 2-3 zone, get Cody McMahon the ball in the middle of the lane and let her go to work, and it's working for them. So I don't blame them to keep going back to it.
Here's Marshall on the left wing. Hands it to Clark. McMahon with 27. She averages 12.8.
Iowa getting into a set play here. The horns, double high ball screens.
Cross-court pass to Molly Davis. Gets it to Martin. Drives down the middle of the paint. Shot up and no good. Partially blocked. Ohio State with Theory. Racing toward the basket. Knocked out of bounds by Molly Davis along the baseline.
Great hustle by Molly Davis. She just saved what would have been a clear layup straight to the lane for Taylor Theory. You see Molly Davis come straight out of the backcourt and just get a hand on the ball. And when we talk about how smart of a player Molly is, that's what we're talking about, is plays like that.
Hawks down 2. Ohio State gets it in, just barely. Now J.C. Sheldon on the left wing brings it to the top of the key, still behind the arc. Michalashikova passes inside McMahon, forces it up, and draws a foul, it appears.
A little bit of a bailout there for McMahon. I got to be honest, I'm really not sure what was grounds for a foul there. All you saw was Hannah Stolke standing her ground, McMahon trying to kind of pivot, and unfortunately that'll be the 5th foul for Hannah Stolke. So we'll see Addie O'Grady come back into the game. They touch hands, kind of talk about their matchup, and then make the switch. But I think if you're Coach Bluder and her staff right now, you got to have a pretty high level of confidence with O'Grady coming back into the game based on her numbers so far on the day.
So Hannah Stolke will sit down with 10 points, and the free throw goes in for McMahon. Bounced on the right side of the rim and dropped in. She's got 28. Second one, no good off the right side. Hawkeyes with the rebound, down 3.
Which ties the highest lead Ohio State's had all day, which is 3.
In the front court, here is Clark. Drives all the way in from the right wing baseline, and the layup is up and good. 38 for Caitlin Clark. Pulls the Hawkeyes to within 1 with 3 minutes left to go in overtime.
Keep
the first
doing that.
overtime.
Keep going to the rim. They don't want to foul. They don't have the fouls to give. So I think the more Caitlin and her teammates can get to the rim, the better.
McMahon now finds Sheldon along the baseline. Back out to Theory, right wing. Now McMahon at the free throw line. Drives in, scoop shot, good off the window, and a Hawkeye foul. She's been unstoppable today.
Oh, and it's like if it isn't broken, don't fix it. It's kind of Kevin McGuff's philosophy right here. You know, against this Iowa zone, they're giving her the ball in the middle of the lane and saying, hey, you try to stop me. And so far, Iowa really hasn't had an answer in the middle of the paint, especially here in this overtime and in the fourth quarter. That hits the 30-point mark for McMahon as she steps to the line.
And now 31. O'Grady the foul. That's her career high.
Great ball screen from Addie O'Grady there for Caitlin.
And the Hawkeyes couldn't convert. Ball goes out of bounds. Touched last by the Buckeyes. It'll be Iowa basketball along the baseline, down 89-85. 2:37 left to go. First OT. They get it into Martin. Free throw line extended right. Now to Clark in that same area. O'Grady comes out to screen. Now Clark whips a pass to the left side. It was tipped, but still saved by Molly Davis. 5 to shoot. Davis gets it to Clark for 3. Swishes this one left to the top of the key.
What a find from Molly Davis. It's like she had eyes in the back of her head seeing Caitlin, and that's kind of the rhythm you're seeing those two guards start to have. Two really well-experienced point guards that play and complementing each other incredibly well at this time of the basketball season.
As the shot clock was winding down, here's Sheldon off a screen, drives down the left side of the lane, layup up and good.
Yeah, just got a little step on Gabby Marshall, and that's all it takes for a player like Sheldon is half a step, half a shoulder, getting all the way to the rim and finishing with her right hand on the left side.
91-88, Ohio State. Hawkeyes with the basketball. Marshall gets it to Clark. She'll fire a three-pointer short right at the top of the key. That was a deep one. And now, minute 35 left to go. Ohio State with the lead by 3 and the basketball. We're in the first overtime. Here's Theory.
This feels like a big possession, Rob, with the 3-point. You don't want to send it to a 2-possession game. A stop here would be huge for the Hawkeyes.
Hawks need it. Michalashikova for 3. Swishes this one from the top of the key. Haven't heard from her for a while.
Nah, she's been quiet.
Clark gets in deep along the baseline, goes up, and a whistle against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, a little frustration from Ohio State on that one, but again, it's the right call, and it's the way it's been being called all day. So I think that was a great take by Caitlin Clark to get to the rim, get deep in the paint, and send herself. Not only, the other good thing about that is it stops the clock and it slows time down for Iowa. It gives them more time to create a steal and some offense.
Clark at the line. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Iowa Hawkeye Women's Basketball. Clark's first, good. Caitlin with 42. And it's 94-89. 1:05 left to go in OT. Second one, got it.
Takes a lot of composure to step up to the line and sink those in this type of environment.
Well, she's got that.
Oh, I would say so.
Hawks down 4. We're under a minute. Iowa needs a stop.
She's got moxie, Rob. That's what she's got.
A lot of it. Sheldon, top of the key, loses control of the ball. Barely got it to McMahon, who knifes her way into the paint. Turnaround jumper, good from 7. Timeout, Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that was about as good a way that Kate Martin could defend that. She stood her ground. She moved with her. She stayed straight up. It's just a really good finish by Cody McMahon. That was good defense.
So the Hawkeyes will get the ball in their front court, but down by 6 with 42.4 left to go. You really feel, not that it's impossible now, but had to keep Ohio State from scoring on that possession.
Yeah, there and the possession before, the 3 from Mikulashikova towards the end of the shot clock, that was tough too. It looked like they were playing a really good defensive possession, and then gets one to go from a player who had been quiet for most of the afternoon. So Ohio State playing well right now in this overtime, but I think with an offense like Iowa's, you never feel out of it, especially with 42 seconds left. I mean, in this sport with this team, that's like kind of an eternity to see what can happen. And looks like they advanced the ball opposite the table. See, this is the type of situation that Iowa works on every single day in practice. Coach Bluter will carve out times, and she's very structured with how she uses her time, and this is something that gets more and more dedication throughout this season. As you know, you're going to come into these types of situations, especially on the road. So expect them to, run something well executed, well oiled, because they're used to these. They work on them every day in practice.
So 96-90, Ohio State leads it. Iowa basketball with 43.5 left to go. Davis along the sideline will inbounds the ball. Bounce pass, top of the key of Fulter. Now Clark on the left wing. Fakes a 3, drives in, kicks it back out. Kate Martin for 3, that same area. Rimming no, and McMahon the rebound. Hawks got the look they needed, and now we'll have to foul in the backcourt. Fulter does against J.C. Sheldon.
Iowa got a good look there. I think initially they were looking for Clark coming off of a flare screen to the weak side. She didn't like the look. She took it to the rim, and then once she drew the help, she kicked it out to Kate Martin. She had a great toed-up three-point look. It just didn't go down. So, I think it was a good set. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Sheldon at the free throw line. First one, good. J.C. Sheldon with 21. She scored over 1,700 points in her career. Second one also good. 98-90 Ohio State with 30.3 left to go. And the Hawks call timeout.
See, Iowa used that last timeout, and here now down 8 with 30 seconds to go. What I will say, if this one ends up in Ohio State's favor, is these are the type of tests that prepare you for 2 months from now when you march. It's not only the environment, but it's the level of play and taking every team's best shot. And so this is the type of game where you learn so much about yourselves. You take away something like Addie O'Grady today, where it's a tough matchup, and yet she comes into the game in a hostile environment and proves that she can compete at a very high level as well. So, looking like Ohio State's favor right at the moment, but I think you don't trade this type of experience, knowing the benefit it has when you get to March, you get to the postseason.
And speaking of March, a great time to schedule your vasectomy. This March, you can get benched and recover in front of the TV. Schedule your appointment now. You can visit uihc.org/appointment. University of Iowa Healthcare, proud sponsor of Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball.
It's quite the segue.
8-point basketball game. Sydney Fulter will throw it in along the sideline. Hawks need to score quickly here. Still looking, bounce pass into Clark. Clark is fouled by Ricky Harris as she tried to lift up for a three-pointer in between the circles.
Interesting strategy by Ohio State. I'm not quite certain that they were fouling, on purpose there, but at the same time, all it does is get them the ball back. So it's not a terrible idea from Coach McGuff.
Not with an 8-point lead.
Exactly. Not if it was tighter, but in this scenario.
Free throw good by Clark. That's 44. Second one in the air. Got it.
See, Ohio State looks like they're going to use their last timeout here to advance the basketball up 6 with 29 seconds to go.
98-92. The Hawkeyes led most of the way. Game was tied at 83. At the end of regulation, the Hawkeyes had led with 33 minutes and 24 seconds. Ohio State for just 3:26, but scored early and kind of took control of the overtime in the first minute and a half. Yeah, controlled the tip and then saw some three-point field goals and three-point plays. I mean, every single time they were going, they were also getting a free throw on top of it, you know, so that's tough to overcome when you're getting 3 points pretty much every time down the court. That being said, and maybe call me crazy, but being down 6 with nearly two-possession game.
It's a two-possession game, so anything can happen. I'm staying confident over here.
Ohio State basketball. They will throw it in right in front of their bench.
Caitlin Clark and Gabby Marshall double teaming J.C. Sheldon, trying to keep the ball out of her hands.
And she still was able to receive it. And then a quick foul. So J.C. Sheldon will be at the free throw line. Leading scorer for the Buckeyes at 17.2 and is an 87% free throw shooter. And that's why they wanted to keep the ball out of her hands specifically. She's a remarkable free throw shooter, very consistent from the line. First one, good. 23 for Sheldon. Now Iowa's out of timeouts, meaning they'll have to just get the ball and go. Won't be able to timeout in advance. With 26.8 left to go. Second one also good. 100-92. Hawks get it in. Clark across the timeline. Will fire a three straight away. And that's an air ball just left of the iron. Got a quick shot, though. That was good execution of the press break. Little screen to open her up and free her, and got a three going straight at the rim. Can't ask for much more. And I think Hawkeyes will back off this. And Ohio State will just dribble it out. Final 10 seconds. Down 8 are the Hawkeyes. And Ohio State will win this one in overtime. 100-92. And the fans rush the court. Shows you how big of a victory this is for Ohio State, as the Hawkeyes suffer their first loss in Big Ten play, and the 15-game winning streak is halted as Ohio State wins this one in overtime 100-92, as the Hawkeyes are trying to get a path to get off the court and get back in the locker room. Tough loss for the Hawkeyes. Did a lot of good things, but in the end it was Ohio State that really controlled the 5-minute overtime period, and the Buckeyes win it 100-92. Hawkeyes fall to 18-2 and 7-1 in Big Ten play. Ohio State now 15-3 and 6-1. Postgame show from Columbus up next after Iowa loses by 8 at Ohio State in overtime 100-92. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show, delivering solutions for every life, every day. Hawkeye basketball is brought to you by U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Also by United Healthcare, proud sponsors of Small Business Spotlight. Sign up your small business at HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. Once again, here's Rob Brooks.
In overtime, Ohio State gives the Hawkeyes their first Big Ten loss of the season, second overall, 100-82. Remember, the Hawkeyes had a 12-point lead with 8:55 left to go in the fourth quarter. And then Ohio State went on to outscore the Hawkeyes 25-18 in the fourth quarter to get it tied at 83, and then really took control of the overtime in the first 2 minutes. 183 Ohio State over the Hawkeyes. Time for our post-game stats report, brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the all-new, totally free Hy-Vee Perks membership. For the Hawkeyes, leading the way was Caitlin Clark with 45 points. Caitlin had 20 at the half, ended with 45 to lead all scores. As after that, Ohio State, we talked about that control in the overtime, outscored Iowa 17-9. And Catherine, kind of what else sticks out after Clark's 45? Molly Davis with 14, Hannah Stalkey with 10, and then also 7 assists for Clark and 7 boards for Hannah Stalkey.
Yeah, I think one thing that sticks out for me is the line for Kate Martin. I think we all know how important she is to the Iowa team, and when she gets in early foul trouble, I think it does kind of change the vibe on the court for the Hawkeye team. You know, she can't get in quite the same rhythm, and really it's the stability that she brings to the court for this Iowa Hawkeye team. So between her and Gabby Marshall both having days on the quieter side, and that's not to say other people can't step up, but I think sometimes when the two of them as senior leaders on this basketball team have quiet days and get affected by foul trouble, I think that plays a big role in these games. And then, you know, I think I'd be remiss not to just talk about Cody McMahon and the game that she had. And it wasn't just that she was scoring, it was that she's getting to the rim, often missing the first one, but then getting her own rebound, going back up, drawing a foul, and just pumping up her team. I mean, I think it's for as many buckets as she had just as many fist pumps, and those are momentum plays for this Ohio State team. Got them going and really just kind of put them on her back in the fourth quarter in particular, and in overtime as well. So, you know, I think, as I mentioned earlier, Rob, you know, the stat sheet tells a story, but I also think the story that doesn't get told is just how valuable this type of game is for the Iowa team. You know, they've They've got one loss on the year. To come in here and get your second, there's really no shame in that. And it's Ohio State's going to win a lot of games in the Big Ten, and they'll probably have a deep run in the NCAA tournament. So, these type of road tests are incredibly valuable for your basketball team. And so I think there's a lot of good things that Iowa can take away today.
And you were right there. You had a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter in a very good atmosphere, and mostly Ohio State fans. We've seen where it's been a little bit more split on the road, a lot of Hawkeye fans, but this was mainly Ohio State fans here today. And with the anticipation of this game, and we figured it would come right down to the wire, and it did. It was anybody's basketball game, but Ohio State won it. And you look at their numbers in the fourth quarter, 10 out of 16 from the floor in the fourth at 62.5%, made 5 out of 6 free throws. And McMahon was the difference. I mean, she had 33 points, 12 rebounds, forced 10 Iowa fouls, and was dominant in the paint.
Yeah, there really was just no answer for her, especially when Iowa was in that zone. It's a little bit different than thinking of a typical matchup, where it's one player on one player, but that's not what it was. It was consistent effort from Ohio State to give her the ball in space in the lane and then just let her go to work, and it worked. And so, you were just talking about the 12-point lead that the Iowa team had, and I think what's a little maybe unsettling about that from a coaching perspective will just simply be that a 12-point lead kind of went through the fingers, slipped away, and then the next thing you know, you're fighting and playing from behind. So I think when they go back to watch the film, I think a lot of attention will be paid to when that lead shifted and there was that swing of at least 15 points where you go from up 12 to down 3, and kind of how you manage those situations moving forward, because certainly they'll find themselves in those situations again, and that's okay. It's okay to be in tight games, especially against really high quality teams, but playing with a lead is difficult. I think it's more difficult than people realize, especially in an atmosphere like this. So I think there'll be some good things in the film to learn from, knowing those situations come back around, and learn how to play with a lead moving forward.
And the Hawkeyes did have the lead for 33 minutes and 24 seconds, and Ohio State for 7:32, of course, when it counted at the end. But to show you how close this game was, not a lot of separation, though. Iowa did have a 10-0 run in the fourth quarter to lead by 12, but there were 8 lead changes, and the game was tied 8 times. For the Hawkeyes, of course, 45 from Clark, 14 from Molly Davis, and 10 from Hannah Stolke, 8 from Kate Martin, 3 from Gabby Marshall, just shot it 3 times, 5 from Sydney Fulter, and 7 for Addie O'Grady to go along with 4 boards. For Ohio State, 33 for Cody McMahon, as that is a career high for her. She had a double-double with 12 boards, and also made the Hawkeyes foul her 10 times, so she drew 10 fouls. 10 for Rebecca Michalashikova, 11 for Taylor Theory, who was in foul trouble as well. That was a theme throughout the game, as we saw on both sides. Ricky Harris hit a couple of three-pointers for 6. Celeste Taylor had 10, and Emma Shoemate hit a couple of big threes early for 6 points. Hawkeyes got outscored in the overtime period 17-9. Ohio State wins it 100-92. Hawkeyes' first loss in Big Ten play. We'll be back with more from Columbus on the postgame show. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here. Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while your hard-working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
This is the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show, delivering solutions for every life, every day.
Hawks lose a tough one in OT. 100-92, the Buckeyes over the Hawkeyes. And the Hawkeyes will not have a midweek game and will regroup for a Saturday contest inside Carver Hawkeye Arena against Nebraska for the first time this year. That is a 1 o'clock start. Before we continue with some of our interviews on the postgame show, let's listen in on some of this afternoon's top plays. Here's Clark on the left wing. Fadeaway three-pointer, buries it. Almost floated out of bounds on that one. Here's McMahon now with the ball in between the circles. Gets it into the corner. J.C. Sheldon three. No good. Skipped off the right side of the rim. Rebound Marshall to Clark. Down court to Molly Davis. Count the layup. And she's fouled. Another great long pass with great vision by Caitlin Clark. Pushes the ball forward to Davis along the baseline. Now back out to Kate for three, left wing. Swish for Kate Martin. Inside O'Grady for the Hawkeyes. Back outside Kate Martin. Three, right wing. Perfect for Kate Martin. She has 8. Here's Marshall on the right wing. Now Clark in between the circles. And wanted a three, but then passed it off to Molly Davis. Little runner along the baseline. Somehow got that up and in. 1 point lead for the Hawkeyes after a run by Ohio State. Inside, O'Grady goes to the left hand and finishes on the left block after a terrific pass by Caitlin Clark. Lost control of the ball, gets it back out to Marshall, fakes a three. Now Molly Davis will fire a three and knock it down from the left wing. Huge. Now a lob pass intended for Michalashikova from the high post area, knocked away and into the hands of Martin. Now to Clark, top of the key, and Clark gets underneath and scoops it up and in with her back to the basket. First one strong. The last three have both hit the back of the bracket and needs this one to tie with 10.7 left to go.
You see Kate Martin and trying to instill confidence in Hannah at the lines. Great teammate and great leader.
Swishes the second. We are tied at 83. O'Grady comes out to screen. Now Clark whips a pass to the left side. It was tipped, but still saved by Molly Davis. 5 to shoot. Davis gets it to Clark for three. Swishes this one left to the top of the key. Caitlin Clark handed the ball game with 45 points, knocked down 7 3-pointers. She was also 14 of 16 from the free throw line, 12 of 25 from the floor. As we continue on the post-game show, Associate Head Coach Jan Jensen joins me. And Coach, boy, this was a A tough one. Certainly had opportunities for sure, and had that 12-point advantage in the fourth quarter. And give Ohio State credit. They came back, made a run, and tied this ball game up at 83, and had a 1-point lead. And then Hannah Stalkey with the free throw to make it 83-83. Got into overtime, and then seemed like they kind of had the momentum there in that final 5-minute frame.
Yeah, usually if you get a little bit in trouble if you're going to go into overtime with a sellout crowd, biggest in history. And
18,660.
Yeah, and you blew a 12-point lead, and that was our fault. I think Lisa and we were talking to staff. We didn't manage that. Just let that get away from us. I think the team made a few reads that they probably shouldn't have. We pushed a little much, should have settled. But we can be disappointed about everything, and we are. You can be assured the locker room is a disappointed, quiet one. But that's a really good team. That's a heck of a big-time basketball game. We did enough to win it, and we did enough to lose it. And that's when you're not quite there. And we, I just didn't think that we had, we've really been having some great tenacity on defense. I even felt at halftime, I didn't quite see that collective, I don't know what it is, the tenacity. And, credit Cody McMahon, their number 32. She's a handful, right? Because she's just, just coming in like a brick wall, has a spin move. And, she got a lot of fouls that, we thought we were straight up. She got a lot of benefit of those doubts. But I think both ways. That is not why we lost it. But I'm saying it's a really tough guard. And then we had Kate Martin get in early foul trouble. Every team had people in foul trouble, but they were able to play with their foul trouble. And I just think we didn't do a great job of trying to expose their foul trouble. And I think they did a terrific job of exposing our foul trouble.
Addie O'Grady, extended minutes for her.
Yeah.
When you look on the positive side, I thought did some really good things in 18 minutes with 7 points and 4 rebounds and an assist and 2 blocks.
Yeah, no, I thought she really did. If I had any one critique right now, we needed one tenacious rebound down the stretch that we just didn't, go and attack to get. Now, she's not the only one, but just in my mind, there was one when we had the lead and we needed to stop and we got it. And Kate Martin got the rebound, and then I think it was her kid that came around and stole it from Kate. So those are things, hopefully, she can build on. This is a pretty good game for her. I think she's showing that she's capable. It's taken us a while to get her to this point. So I do think there was some good positive things there.
But you're right, second chance opportunities, and especially a game like this can really be hurtful.
Exactly. I mean, it was 12-9, and every time we gave it up, we fouled them on the putback or they got an easy layup. So that's I think that we should have done better with that or could have. But I think, the key is now you have to learn from these. You can't let it turn into 2 and, just get so disappointed as, we would have loved to go through the whole season undefeated. But it's, it's going to be a ride. This league's got some really good teams. We got to play. Nebraska is really hot. They're, we have a little week to heal. Our team's been a little bit sick, whether it was a little food poisoning or the flu. We've had 5, 6, 7 people have got it. So we weren't exactly, it would have been nice to get a win and then kind of cruise into it, but we did not. So I think that's the hard thing is you have to sit on it for a while. But I think offensively we rushed, we forced when we shouldn't have. And defensively, we just needed to have a little bit more collective group mentality, certainly on McMahon.
And credit her. She was aggressive. J.C. Sheldon was aggressive. They're 2 top scorers, and they were a big threat inside and outside for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, they really were. I mean, neither one of us have a big inside presence of scoring. Their inside kid is more effective from shooting the 3, and I think she got 2. Got one big one there at the end.
Right.
Got a big one in the first half as well. So their threat of inside, they had so many more drives, so many more offensive putbacks, and we relied way too much on the 3-point shot at times again today.
But like you said, ton of basketball. More basketball coming up. Take this week to get healed up, and then Nebraska on Saturday. We've got a long way to go.
Absolutely. So thanks so much for everybody's support. We'll look forward to seeing a Nebraska game, and God bless and go Hawks.
Jan, thank you very much. Coach Jan Jensen on the postgame show. Her comments after Iowa loses a tough one in overtime, 100-92. The Buckeyes outscored Iowa 17-9 in the overtime period. Hawkeyes just suffered their second loss of the year, first in Big Ten Conference play, now 18-2 and 7-1. Back with more after the break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Escape to Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor, and Melrose Meadows, voted Iowa City's best retirement community. The hotel at Kirkwood Center, a AAA 4-diamond luxury property located just a few minutes from the eastern Iowa airport and downtown Cedar Rapids. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, the hotel is happy to welcome you. To make reservations, visit thehotelatKirkwood.com.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
Welcome to the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show, delivering opportunities and results for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers.
192, Ohio State over Iowa. The Hawks suffer their first loss in Big Ten Conference play. The 15-game winning streak is over. Time to start another one as Nebraska will come to Iowa City on Saturday. For now, let's head to the Iowa locker room as Catherine has Coach Bluter.
Here with Coach Bluter in the locker room post-game. Coach, we knew this would be a big test, especially on the road with a great crowd, great environment. Can you just talk about your overall thoughts on the game and what was the difference down the stretch?
Yeah, the difference down the stretch, in my opinion, was Cody McMahon. I mean, she just kept driving it in. She drew 12 fouls, went to the free throw line. She has a 33, probably a career high. She was just too much for us. We couldn't really figure out a way to guard her. I really thought her players were straight up a lot of times. And obviously they were drawing the fouls. So she's a spectacular player. Obviously a 12-point lead with 9 minutes left in the game. Disappointed that it went into overtime, and then they pretty much dominated overtime.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about defending Cody McMahon and then some of the offensive rebounding for Ohio State?
Yeah, they got about 32% of their offensive rebounds, which we've been really doing a good job of rebounding, and they out-rebounded us by 4. So they did a great job on the boards. Again, Cody, we just couldn't keep the ball out of her hands, and then once she started driving, it was over. It's like a freight truck coming at you, and it's really, really tough to guard.
Yeah, absolutely. But these types of games, there's a lot of valuable lessons to be learned in them, and they benefit you down the road in March. So what do you take away moving forward, and especially with a lot of Big Ten play left?
Well, I moved forward knowing that we had a 12-point lead at Ohio State with 9 minutes left. And, we didn't shoot the ball as well as we're maybe capable of. We took a lot of threes today, probably too many threes, especially that they were in foul trouble. So learning from that and getting back into that attack mindset versus settling for the three.
All right, thank you, Coach, and good luck in the next one.
Thanks, Catherine.
Catherine, thank you very much from the Iowa Hawkeye locker room with Coach Bluter. And Iowa made 10 three-pointers, 28 attempts for the ball game, 35.7%. Shot 46.2 overall, 30 of 64. Got to the free throw line 27 times and knocked down 22. Hawkeyes lose in overtime to Ohio State 100-92. We'll head back to the Iowa locker room when we return. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen. 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Thank you for joining us on the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show. Iowa, leading the nation in biodiesel production.
Hawkeyes lose by 8, 100-92. Another bright spot, of course, Molly Davis playing 40 minutes and 29 seconds, had 14 points, 8 assists, and just 1 turnover as she registered double figures for the 4th time this season and became the second Hawkeye this year to have 7 or more assists. That's a pretty good assist-to-turnover ratio. 8 assists, just 1 turn, and Catherine talked to her in the Hawkeye locker room.
Got Molly Davis here with us post-game. Molly, it's a hard-fought game, so a lot of good things from you. Really fun to see, but can you just talk about down the stretch and going into overtime, what you feel like made the ultimate difference for Ohio State?
Yeah, I think they're obviously aggressive offensively. I mean, Cody going downhill, she's tough to stop, and I also think the offensive rebounds that we gave up, I think we got killed on the boards tonight, and I think that's ultimately what made the difference in the game down the stretch.
Yeah, thank you. And Molly, just with the veteran that you are and a lot of games under your belt, can you talk about the value of this type of experience and how it can benefit you guys as you move along in Big Ten play?
Yeah, it's obviously a game that we want to win, but obviously with every loss there's some valuable lessons to learn. I mean, they're a really good team, and we'll see them on senior night, so that's a little bit motivation moving forward.
Absolutely. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, Catherine.
Catherine, thank you very much. Molly Davis, appreciate her time after the Hawkeyes lose, and she referenced Ohio State coming to Carver Hawkeye Arena. That will be the last regular season game of the year on the 3rd of March. That'll be a noon tip, so these two teams will certainly meet again. As Caitlin Clark, of course, with her impressive 45-point performance today, notched her 11th career game with 40 or more points. It was also her 48th career game with 30 or more, and that's the most in men's or women's college basketball history the last 25 years. The Hawkeyes now 19 road games, 14-5, as the Hawkeyes certainly once again helped Ohio State sell out this game with 18,660 in attendance. Hawkeyes will take the week off. Well, no midweek game, and we'll get ready for Nebraska next Saturday afternoon as the Huskers and the Hawkeyes will play at 1 o'clock. We will be on the air at 12:45 with the pregame show. And don't forget, we've got Hawk Talk tomorrow night, live from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville between 6 and 7. We certainly invite you to come out. Hawk Talk tomorrow night from 6 until 7. Hawkeyes fall to 18-2, 7-1 in Big Ten play. Nationally ranked Ohio State now 15-3 and 6-1. The Hawkeyes will try to start another big win streak against Nebraska on Saturday. Final score, once again from Columbus. Hawkeyes lose in overtime 100-92 to Ohio State. Appreciate Catherine Reynolds and her work here this afternoon, and she'll be back with us several more times this year for Iowa Hawkeye basketball. I'm Rob Brooks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The final score once again, Ohio State 100 and Iowa 92. Good afternoon from Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
This has been the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show. Biodiesel, moving Iowa forward. Hawkeye women's basketball has been brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Authentic brand. Elevate your everyday style with a premium label of choice. Hy-Vee. Score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. And by Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit IALottery.com for details. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network. on the